What's up, everybody? This is the poker coaching study session. Today, we're going to be looking at
Live hands that we played. We'll start with a session that I played about 2.5 weeks ago. So we sit down at the table. We know some of the people. We're playing six-handed. I know that one is better than me. One is at least as good as me. Two are not as good, and one is unknown. So this is a profitable table, but not great as we look at it. These are just the notes as we go. Seat two is a middle-aged guy, and he's now angry. And he's opening 25 in the cutoff. I'm in seat 9. S5, seat 5 is the player who's better than me. We've seen him multi-table in online while playing correctly live. Seat 4, we think he's good at least. He's in his 30s. He's wearing a Nike hat. Not that this matters. His open size is 25. Button calls. Okay. So here we have it. So he opens to 25 in the hijack and the button calls. I'm in the big blind. This is a small blind, big blind straddle game at all times. What do you want to do with ace 10 in the big blind here? Hijack opens, button calls. You've got ace 10 off in the middle blind. What do you guys want to do?
You are in straddle or middle blind?
I'm in middle blind. So if you're thinking about normal hold'em ranges, imagine you're in the small blind.
Yeah. What?
What
I'm
was
sorry.
the action?
I'm at, yeah.
Hijack raises, hijack opens to 2.5x, and the button calls. You've got ace 10 in a normal hold'em game's small blind, in this game's middle blind.
It's a tough spot with ace
Are we
jack.
suited?
No, we're not. They were not on the ace jack. We're on ace 10 offsuit. I didn't even put the hand in. I'm just asking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's
I fold.
Yep.
yeah.
I think you can
Yep.
fold.
I had to fold.
You can
I didn't.
fold.
Easy fold.
It's a fold. I didn't know with the call at the time what it was, and I just kind of thought about it, and I looked it up later. Ace jack is the minimum. So yeah, easy fold. Easy fold.
Is hijack loose?
Hijack is the guy. Hijack, we think he's good. He's at least good, we think. At this point.
Oh, then yeah, fold.
Yeah, we fold. We just fold. And we don't have a note on who the button is in this one. Seat 1 is an Asian guy who seemed passive. And then very soon after that note, we see him open limp the button and showdown ace king offsuit. He's passive.
Yeah.
So that's our confirmation. We are going to call seat 1 a passive Asian gentleman. We have a Greek looking guy, an older Greek looking guy in seat 7. We're going to call him Zorba. And then somebody new sits down in seat 3. Older guy, looks like a hippie. And
Does he
I am
smell like one though?
What?
Does he
Does he
smell,
smell
like
like
one?
one? We don't know. We're in seat 9. He's in seat 3.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. But just from his demeanor, we haven't seen him play a single chip. I am profiling him early and deciding that I really like the fact that he sits down. The guy who's better than me, who's there, it's like I want him diluted. I want to be away from him, and I don't want to play with him. And we don't know. We've never seen this guy before, and it's just from his look that we decide he's not a good player. Be careful about that, but don't ignore people's looks. So profile them and keep an asterisk in your head of why you've profiled them. It's not because you saw a hand, it's because you saw their demeanor. So you want to be very willing to change that, but don't just sit down and go, oh, he's an unknown player. You know something about him. And by the way, later we find out I was not wrong at all. I was so right. He was the guy we wanted at the player.
You can definitely tell a lot about somebody by how they put their chips on the table.
Exactly. Hungry Horse does
I always fumble my chips when I put them on the table.
Yep,
Me
that
too.
works.
I make a mess.
Yeah, Hungry Horse does a video on this about fast profiling that I watched, and I went, yeah, I agree with most of that.
His idea is what you assume everyone's terrible until proven otherwise.
Yeah, but he had some specific things about them, specific things
Okay.
that they're coming in with. Some of the things that you'll know, things that we don't like. We don't like when someone comes to the table with blue chips. Blue chips are $1,000 chips and cashes them in to get hundreds in a 50 in the 5-10 game. We think these people play all the time because they keep their money in chips. We don't like people who buy their chips and casually tip the the runner $1 when it happens. These are people who are there regularly and know some of the protocols. We like people who buy in not with $100 bills. If they buy in with all hundreds, that's okay, but that's not what we like most. But if they buy in with a denomination other than hundreds, we like that. These are just some of our first things we like. We don't like young players playing at high stakes.
With tattoos of ace of spades.
We definitely don't like people with tattoos of the ace of spades. And by the way, I noted as I was typing it, I just put this note in for you guys. Oh, the player who's definitely better than me has an ace of spades tattooed on his forearm. Fuck my life. And while I did this, he got a royal flush in spades. That actually happened. All right. So here's our first hand. The hippie limps. Stereotype confirmed. He's in the hijack. The good seat 4 raises to seat 4 calls. The guy in seat 4 who I think is good. I think later I decided he was not good. But at this point, he calls the limp. Then the player who's better than me raises to 50. I've got ace jack off in the straddle. What do you want to do? This is the hand. Here we go. So here we go. Hippie limps. A player who I think might be good raises. The button, who I believe is the best player on the table, raises to 50. And I'm in the straddle with ace jack off. What do you want to do?
Well, this is, so,
This one's harder.
yeah, this is harder.
Should
So we
raise.
know that, ace jack is an easy fold to a 3-bet.
Yep.
Especially out of position.
Yep.
So
We also know that these limpers are likely to come along, which means you're gonna be playing ace jack off multi-way.
Yep.
I muck it. I
Okay.
might be tight as fuck, but I muck it.
I'm gonna,
I don't hate a fold here, just because if you call, it's gonna start the landslide effect. Your
Mhm.
hippie dude's gonna call, who's a fairly unknown. Other dude's gonna call, and now you're 4 ways to a flop, out of position, with a hand that can get you in a lot of trouble, with the best player at the table to act behind you. So
Jack last.
I act last, not even just behind you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like
So
what Mike said.
Mike makes a good
Agree
point,
that.
and I think Mike is right. I think you can, whatever we want to call it, 3-bet or cold for this, or we could fold it. If the button is good and he's got button and he's playing against, he's ISOing 2 bad players, it sounds like.
Hmm.
He's gonna have a wider ISO range capturing the button.
Right.
That allows you in turn to have some cold 4, 3-bet, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah.
Bluffs, and this hand would definitely fall in. Although it's going to be uncomfortable as fuck.
Hmm.
So I think you're really at a fold or cold 4 spot.
I think that's the first good thing is that we definitely don't call. We can
Yeah.
turn it into a raise bluff, and we can also turn it into a fold.
I
Mike
mean, you
asked,
gotta understand what his range is pretty
Right.
well.
So the cutoff just called.
yes, the cutoff called the
okay.
limp. He
Over
limped high.
limped.
That is not enough for us to mark him as not a good player yet, because there are a lot of hands that are completely reasonable to overlimp here.
So
But I also didn't know that he was good. It was just I'd either seen him play before or in it, I kind of put him in he might be as good as me. He might not. We'll find out.
it looks like a clear fold
Okay.
against a better player, but for most of the population, I'd say 3-bet it.
Yep.
So I'd fold against the good player and 3-bet everyone else.
Yeah. I also looked at it
that what
this
you're
way.
gonna do?
Most of the hands against the good player, he doesn't have position on me most of the time we play.
Yeah, I think position is important here.
I don't need the bluff.
Can we just
on-
go over a couple hands here real quick, guys?
Yes. Okay.
Because I'm in this position often. Let's just go over the suited combos. Let's just go over ace jack suited here.
Okay. Or you mean what we should do with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think any suited combo obviously allows us to flat here at some
Yeah.
frequency.
Yes.
And I'm not sure about ace jack suited and I'm curious what you guys think about ace queen suited as well.
I like ace ten, ace jack suited as calls. I like ace king off and ace king suited as raises.
Yeah, ace king is clear.
Ace queen off is where I think I would like to do a raise bluff. I'm calling it a bluff. Because because if I get re-raised, I throw it away. So that's why I'm calling it a bluff. But when I get called, then it's not a bluff, then it's value. And when they fold, then I don't care what it was. And ace queen suited. Um. Brian says, I'm three betting all of them out of position against a good player. Which all of them? Put in the range there, because we said a bunch of them there, Brian.
I would say
So-
actually ace jack suited plus,
Okay,
just because I can get
Okay.
into a lot of trouble with
okay.
calling there and making top pair and calling down with dog shit and getting cooler.
Yep.
I do
Agree.
I do think we want to understand button a little bit more. And if we play with him a lot and we understand his ISO range, we
So let's-
can drop this into a 4-bet bluff, but we have to
Right.
understand, I think,
So let's
button's
build out the
range a
range
lot.
this way. Let's build out the range this way, Larry. I don't think this is stupid at all. We're gonna go to the wizard. We're gonna go to the smallest size they have. And we're gonna do this as if the cutoff min raised and the button three bet him. That's not gonna be that far. This is gonna give us
Well, give us something to look at.
No, I
something to
think the
look
range,
at.
I think, Scotty, the ranges will be much tighter there.
Yeah, they're gonna be tighter.
It's ISO rate, right, but we can start with this. I think we can get something from a start with this.
Go to
Uh,
1K
it-
GG, it's
it's
gonna
the
give you
range
some
game,
longer
right?
ranges.
Okay, 1K GG. We'll look at, we can look at 6 max or 9 max, it doesn't matter. We just grab 9 max, okay. So the cutoff goes 2.3, let me get it, let me see, 6 max, do I get sizing with this rig? Yes, I do. Here we go. No limit, and here we go. No limit 5K,
Yeah, I think it's more similar to what we're gonna see, because it's just
Right.
wider ranges.
okay. And now 2X. Cutoff goes to here, button goes to 8. This guy went to 5, so this is, we're gonna be looser than this. But just looking at this, and we are in the straddle, which is the big blind here. So they don't have a flatting range here at all.
Did I mean, you might have said something, Scotty,
Yeah.
but that wasn't a raise prior,
It
was it?
wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was a
So-
limp ISO.
Right. Yeah, so
This
this,
is a raise, re-raise. And I was saying,
yeah,
let's
this shouldn't,
start with this
wouldn't
to look
apply.
at.
I don't think this would even show us anything,
Okay, good enough.
right? I mean, am I,
Here
Well,
we're
it gives us
calling
something to
with
look
ace-king.
at. I mean, we have a visual in which to kind of
Yeah,
dissect their range.
yeah, but are they?
this
they're
guy's
still
wide,
looking-
right? This guy's range isn't this, right? This isn't his range.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could potentially be a button range, like like a straight up open range.
Yeah.
And I
So,
think in
okay,
range
so let's do,
range
so take a look at
also-
this. Take a look at this bit of Joey theory on it.
Yeah,
give
yeah,
the
exactly.
button-
Yeah, something like that.
Let's
Like
give the
Joey theory.
button, yeah, in Joey theory, and we make it bigger, so we want it to be the big size. And actually, we'll do this in yours. Take a look at what the 5 big blind does against the hijack. That's a start. So, Mike, put that up. And while you're putting that up, Mike, I want to answer one question you gave, which is, you said, wait a minute, this guy is playing on his phone at the same time? No, what happened was, in an earlier game, not this one, we were waiting for a game to start and he was playing on his computer while he was doing it. So he was multi-tabling on his computer, playing 4 tables. He might have,
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Hold on.
I was like, holy
Right.
shit.
So he
Number
wasn't-
one, would they even allow it? I was like,
Right.
that's crazy.
so I don't think he was an action junkie. And also, by the way, there's nothing about him that says he's an action junkie in his play. Because we've played with him before. It's just that he sits down at the table, he comes in, he buys in with blue chips. He buys in for $3,000 in the $1,500 game, just prepping. So, he gives the chip runner 3 blue chips, gets $3,000, puts the other $3,000 in his pouch. So he has these, to easily reload, without bothering to talk. or because he's gonna go to the 10-20 table that's gonna maybe start, which he plays at regularly. So while we're all waiting, he's playing 4 tables at least. That's what I see in his computer. The game is going, we're waiting for the dealer to go and all the things that are happening, he's still playing. And basically as the game starts, he like hits, sit out big blind on all the tables. But he's playing them out till then. And while he's playing a minimum of 5 tables, he's playing fine. I'm able to see that. So that was our first thing, that he was good enough to do that. And we've seen him play. He's good. And he has a fucking ace of spades tattooed on his forearm. Right. So anyway, so here we go. The hijack raises to 5 because the buttons range should be, the buttons range in Joey land is the hijack range.
You need to give the raise. You didn't give the raise.
Yeah, you give him a raise. You've got to raise to 5. Hijack raises to 5.
All right. So
Cutoff calls.
No,
they're not
call.
going to have any calls here.
Just hijack raises to 5, and we are in the big blind. We start with this. So we do not want to play
Oh, I see your point.
looser than this.
I
So
think
we're
a
still
better-
trying
a better
to
rep-
kind of suss out what our ISO range, our cold 4/3 bet
Yeah,
range.
this is a
right?
good. This is not a bad start.
I think, Scotty, a better start should be that we consider ourselves as small blind because we're not closing action.
Yeah, but the small blind only has half a blind in there, and that makes a difference. But we can certainly look at it. We can look at both those. Let's look at both of them. And by the way, we aren't closing the action, but we effectively are. The hippie is not limp re-raising. And the other guy, is he playing second hand low to try to induce a better player than him on his left to raise? Maybe. So we can look at both of them, but let's just look at it. So give me the hijack raise here to 5.
So, and this is what we're assuming his ISO range is.
We're starting with it.
Okay, yeah,
We're
because I think
saying-
it's wider than this, but yeah,
Okay. We start with that.
okay.
Cutoff calls.
No, cutoff. We don't have a cutoff call here. Nobody's called behind. Nobody's called a raise yet.
What do you want to see?
What our big blind response is to this. This is just a start. This is just a starting thing. So
we've got 6% of hands here.
Mhm.
Dude, maybe we go to 3% of hands.
all right. So now let's bring let's bring it down. You have a 4 big blind open also? Yeah, great. Let's look at the 4 because remember he went 4.5. So in a sense, so if he plays this, our big blind response is
It's at 8% of hands.
right. Now now go to the cutoff because we know that he's not playing wider than his button range. So let's look at his cutoff range. And the reason we're using 4 is because we're having to call 4.5 to play this. So we should not be looking at a 2.5 sim.
This looks pretty reasonable. I think he's ISOing maybe some here, maybe some here.
I think his offsuit aces are out of whack, but sure, let's start with that.
Yeah, I agree. Yep, take some of this out, maybe.
I
Yeah.
don't think he's ISOing at ace 7 off there at all. Okay. So what do you think of that, Larry? You've got
now
some
we can
calls
cut
with your
off.
ace jack suited and your ace 10 suited that we talked about.
All right. So again, I think we have to understand what ISO range button has here. I mean, I think I'm projecting a little bit of strat onto button that he understands that he's against 2 poor players in front of him who have limped, which I
he
think gives him a wider and somewhat more polar ISO range, which I think in turn allows us to have some polar 4 bets. And I think at that point, the ace jack off gets in as a 4-bet, but I don't think we. Now, the question becomes also, do we have flats with implied odd hands, middle pairs, suited connectors? I
Right.
think we do.
Well, remember, if you're polar, that implies that you have a flatting range.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
If you have no flatting range, you have no reason to be polar.
I think we have a more polar range. Obviously, our reaction to him having a wide ISO range is that we have a polar cold 4/3-bet range. And I think, when we look at the shape of it, I think we get some polar 3-bets around periphery hands like ace jack off. And then we also maybe get some implied odd hands in a multi-way pot, which do well, like middle pairs and some suited connectors.
Okay. So big blind just against his, assuming that his button range is similar to a cutoff range we have, and looking again at his range.
An interesting hand would be
This
queen
seems-
jack suited here.
Yeah,
I
this
don't know what the
seems,
fuck I do with queen jack suited.
there are some differences. Like, I don't expect his range here to have some of those offsuit aces I mentioned, and maybe it's got some more
His
of
range, you're talking about button ISO, right?
his button ISO range. But if you look at this does not seem out of whack for his, for his percentage of hands that he would be going on the button here. Like, do you think he's doing?
Yeah, I think this is probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he's doing that? He's bothering to do this with king 5 suited and king 6 suited?
Hmm. I don't. I
Not,
frankly,
he's good, but he's also not super active. He's not in a lot of hands. He's,
think
I
it's,
frankly do not know. I
We're
mean,
gonna
I
be
would
bit-
say it.
I think it's
I mean,
more
some
likely
people
than the
just love
offsuit.
the button, right? I mean, I will. I mean, he's not super active. He's got discipline. Probably king 5, king 6 drop out, but some people love the button and they love being the aggressor on the button, starting hands pre-flop,
and
which
Brian,
is
to answer
good. I
your
mean, that's a
this is
very
real-
common exploitative way to play,
Yeah.
especially against two fish limpers.
Yeah. So Brian, to answer your question, yeah, he's going to be about 150 big blinds deep. This is early in the session, and
Okay.
and he and I and several others have bought in for the max. Not everyone has, but he certainly has, and I certainly.
With what you and Larry were talking about too, I think he's gonna ISO a lot more, remove a lot of like ace 8, all that shit, ace 8 offsuit and all that shit, and you could move that over to like king 8 suited, maybe not king 5, but I think you're gonna have a lot more of that than the offsuit aces. If
Okay.
that's how he structures his range, he might
Yeah.
do that.
And we don't know. We do not know
Yeah.
how to structure his range, and we did not get any insight from this hand, as it did not go to showdown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not, in theory, we don't have any flatting ranges, which we can understand, but this is very different with two limpers. And I think what happens is that, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I think that our implied odd hands go up in value because we're going multi-way.
Yes.
13% of the time we hit middle pair hits a set, it's incredibly valuable. I think suited connectors are a little bit more gray, but I think middle pairs all of a sudden are worth a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried that if I 3-bet here, then I'll make the fish fold out, and then I'll be alone with the better player out of position against the better player.
Yep. That is
You know,
why.
right?
Yep. and
So, like, I hate calling, and I hate raising. So,
And I'm with Derek, by the way. That is why I did this.
you called.
I
No,
think it's better
no,
with
you did.
suited though. I think I like what you're getting at, but suited makes like the
Yeah.
offsuit branch is going to be so much worse.
I
just
agree.
folded.
I agree.
I
Like,
think
the
your fold
offsuit-
is good.
I folded and I labeled myself a coward for it.
I
but
don't think so. I
Yeah, I
think
think it's
I
fine.
think you're making
like
an
that.
appropriate adjustment.
Good enough. However, when I looked at one version of this in the salt where I just looked at sort of his button, his larger button raise, and the ace jack is definitely in there. So if you just look at at the button range, if he just goes to 5, so show that one last thing there. We never looked at that. So Mike, just show a button's opening range to 5. Just he opens the pure button range. So this is probably the widest that we think his ISO range is. And I believe that. I believe that his ISO range is never this wide. So this is the widest, and against this width, the big blind, of course, with the ace jack. Guts in there.
Well, I'm
Good.
afraid that I'd be outplayed by him if he has position.
Yeah.
And
But he also
Also-
does folding.
I also
What?
wondered when you played against him in the past, you said you played with him before. Did you notice him like targeting you at all?
Nope.
Then I would say that you could 3-bet and he might move out of the way a lot of the time.
He might go. He might be at the lower end of his range.
Yeah.
right.
You have a
But
lot
if
of his
the-
range dominated if it's as wide as the cutoff open that we were looking at.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
maybe
Zorba
make
has-
it,
Right.
Maybe put a bigger than normal bet size in, like make it go 4x his bet.
Well, I'm definitely going 4x his bet. I'm definitely going 4x. I'm going, if I
At
do this,
least.
I'm going
At least,
210.
That's the
I'm going
bare minimum.
220. And so,
Yeah, I'm going 225.
yeah, so I'm going to go 225 because it's a better number.
Yeah, I like 225.
Yeah,
Even
definitely.
250.
Yeah.
I don't have
230.
Yeah,
I don't
230.
300. I don't hate
233.50.
Yeah, anywhere between 200 and 250, I'm happy with. I think 300 is too much. I think you're
But
sticking
then-
it out too far.
But then you're creating a pot that you kick the bad players out of the pot, and you're playing with the
I
the
know.
non-fish
I know. That's why I folded.
out of position.
Yep. But if you
So
were
I'm
playing,
happy if the hand ends right away
yeah,
with
Yep.
me folding or
there we go. Yep. All right, next hand.
4-bet.
So we've seen
So-
Zorba open limp, the small blind. Yes.
Missed earlier, is this a 3-blind or 4 straddle, or is it just the
Four
table
straddle.
agreed to do some straddle rounds?
It's no, always straddled. The game is a
Okay.
3-5-10 game.
So it's a 3-blind game.
It's a 3-5 game. It says 2-5-10 because it's faster to do that when to enter the hands as 2-5, but it's 3-5-10, and the rake is $6 goes away, $2 goes away pre-flop, and $7 goes away, $6 goes away on the flop, I think.
So I mean, is this a situation where you're really incentivized to play big pots because it's a set rake?
Yes.
So all of a sudden, does that increase your 3-betting range? I mean, do you now have an expanded 3-betting and cold 4-betting range?
No, maybe I should, but I don't.
I don't know. You should look into the theory there. I think there's a lot of theory that says essentially you become a lot tighter and you just want to play big pots.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it's probably pretty subtle. I don't know how it operates, but when it's set
I-
rake, interesting things happen.
All right. Am I
Yeah. I agree
You're
with
not sharing.
Larry exactly on that.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. And the very end of this session, Derek, there's something that comes up that's right in your wheelhouse at the very end of the session. Just to give a tease. So, we've seen Zorba open limp in the small blind. Seat 2 in a hand had a difficult decision, and he did not look at his villain for any kind of physical tell. He looked at the board, he looked at his hand, he looked up and thought, and eventually made his action, whatever it was. But the important thing was just show you guys, that was me looking, never looked at the other guy, did not stare him down, didn't look for any physical tells. Seat 1 has a fold tell. He's in the cutoff, so I raise Queen 7 suited in the hijack, pure. Is that right? So basically I'm saying that I'm opening Queen 7. Yes. So I'm opening Queen 7 suited in the cutoff. So I hope I open it in the hijack because he's folding his cutoff.
Awesome.
Seat 3 has a fold tell. And this is where I put in the note. I think this table will be profitable even with the better players. Seat 1's fold tell could not be more explicit. Looks at his cards, pushes them forward, and goes back to his phone. Right? Don't miss this shit. All right, here we go. Next actual hand. So that's the information we have. Next actual hand that we get. We have ace queen here. Zorba in the hijack, open limps. We are of course going to ISO. What size do you want to ISO to? Hold on. I'm going to ask the question to
50.
Ashwin. What size do you want to open? What size?
45.
45. All right, we'll go 45. Derek goes 50. I have no objection to 50. And Mike, you go to about 40 here usually, right?
Well,
So
this is straddle stuff. So if this was online versus a limp, I go 4x here. Yeah.
Okay.
I like
great.
bigger with the straddle and live because I think
Mhm.
people just really want to see a float.
Yeah. With this straddle, I think I'd
Yeah.
probably go 50 minimum.
There's a difference though, Larry. When somebody straddles a pot, they want to see the flop. When the game is a 3-blind game with a straddle, it's not the same.
No,
It's not.
that's a good point. I see your point.
It's because some people will come in and straddle. They will do a dead 20 in this game.
That's fucking insane.
I know when you decide to put in more money here for 20 blind, you're not allowed to do it and have it be live.
That's officially called a blind bet, right?
Blind bet.
Okay.
I've heard it as dead. I've heard it I've heard it as a dead, as they say, dead 20, dead 40. That's how
Okay.
I've heard it said out loud in the game. And these are people who just want they just want more action. They want it, and they're willing to give up everything to do it because they don't even get to raise against limps.
I mean, that's the sign. I mean, can we immediately label someone who puts in a blind bet here as a degenerate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they're not good. You can be good
Right.
and degenerate, but
But
they're
they've got
degenerate.
degenerate qualities.
They've got degenerate qualities. And the other thing that's going on here is when they have a dead 20, there is now a new incentive to limp
Yeah, that's the weird thing that happens, I think.
because they can't raise. I never follow that. I still only raise against them unless if I were in the big blind against a dead 20, I would consider limping.
Do you
Yeah,
have it if
like
you're in
you
here
could-
as a
you
dead
could
20 and let's say it folds around to
consider
you? Sorry, go
completing.
ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I would
can-
complete from the small blind happily against a dead 20 more than I would against a live big blind.
Wait, you said small blind. I thought you were talking about the straddle.
No,
completely.
straddle. I meant,
Yeah.
I meant here.
Yeah.
It
So
folds
you
to me.
could almost complete like just super wide, right?
Yeah, because you never get raised. You can't be raised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick questions if you don't mind. Dead 20, does that mean that instead of playing 150 big blinds deep here, we would be playing 75 big blinds deep?
100%. And you must remember that. And we don't always do that.
Yeah, true. And then the other question I have is what is your RFI size if it folds to you on, let's say, cutoff button?
60 still.
3x. Okay.
60, sometimes 50, but 60.
All right.
I'm just playing 3x in the game and not thinking any deeper than that. I don't think I would complete from the small blind. I think I would be still playing raise or fold from the small blind against a dead 20. Against the big blind here in the straddle game, I think I would still be playing raise or fold. The exception is if I looked at the straddle and he was exhibiting a fold tell, then I would consider limping. Then I would consider completing. I would consider it, but I generally wouldn't do it. It's only in the straddle that I would do it. So the way to think about this game is this is a small blind this is a 3-blind game here. People complete from the small blind way too much because they only have a fifth of it in there and they should be throwing away this small blind all the time. And they don't. They
Yeah.
think they have money in. And also the
Yeah,
other
that's-
thing they do. Yes, you were gonna say?
So
I said fifth. It's $3. It's a third. They have I'm sorry, it's 33% in. They've got $3 in there.
so it's an immediate tell that they're not studied
If they complete from the small blind? I
too
think so.
much. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. Or they're so much more studied than us that we don't know why they're doing it. That's always possible.
But with it being dead, it kind of opens up, depending if the big blind and straddle are kind of players that are almost never going to squeeze, you can kind of open up from the small blind and call a little more, can't you?
If you know that, but you don't need to, because you're gonna be out of position against 2 players and you've only got $3 in there, you're throwing away. what hands do you want to play that aren't good enough to raise? That you want to play out of position against two players?
You can think of like your small pocket pairs,
Yep.
stuff that okay, I can spike a set, but
Good. Now, of those hands, how bad is it to play from the small? How bad is it to play a small pocket pair from the small blind as a raise? Not
it's
that
not
bad.
terrible to do that either, I
Not
guess.
that terrible to do that either. So, and what's the other good thing that happens? $6 doesn't go into the rake.
Well, Scotty,
When you
what
raise.
sometimes why am I echoing? Sometimes I will do that in games when it like limps all the way around. I know that I'm not getting raised from the big blind and I have pocket twos or threes.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
don't think they're quite good enough to squeeze because people just call with everything and I'd have to squeeze to a pretty giant size when 8 max gets limped all the way around that I don't really want to do with my
No, no,
pocket
no.
twos.
You're playing absolutely correct there. Somebody other than me, tell Brian why he's playing absolutely correct when he completes from the small blind with limpers in front, why that's different than what we were just talking about.
Oh, I thought we were talking about my bad. I
No,
thought you were
no,
talking
no,
when it
no.
folds around. Okay.
Yes, it's only when
Okay.
you're the opener. When
Oh
your
yeah, I'd
limp's in
open
front
then.
of you, that is the exact right thing to do.
I was gonna say yeah, I'd open if it folds to me, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, twos, threes, fours, fives, all of them. Those are great. Those are great completes. Sixes, yeah, sure. Sevens,
I start to squeeze with sevens
yeah,
for sure.
sevens will start to squeeze. Eights and nines, fucking raise. Be an adult.
I
Play
don't even
poker.
mind some of like the suited eight, like middling suited aces.
Yeah,
I hate
Um,
playing those out of position.
yeah.
it's pretty easy though. I mean, if you think in the mindset of I'm not playing for an ace, like I'm either I flop trips with my smaller card, or a flush draw or a flush.
That's true.
But
I mean,
Andy,
I'm not playing them to win a pot with an ace. I'm
right,
I'm limping there to try and cooler somebody with a flush.
right. But Andy, are you on an ace high board? Are you just folding the flop to, someone bets? Are you just saying I wasn't here for my ace and you just fold it? Or are you going to lose at least a flop bet when it's only when it's you and another player?
Villain dependent.
Yeah, you flop your ace, and not you flop your ace. You're in the small blind. You check, and the very next guy, the big blind, bets into the whole field. Maybe you fold your ace. But if you check,
Okay.
and everybody checks behind, and somebody in late position takes a stab at it for reasonable sizing, are you just going to fold your ace to like a third pot bet?
Especially the player in late position is a stabby type player.
Yeah.
And I guess follow-up question along that line of thinking, Scotty. Flop a naked ace and flop checks through. Are we stabbing with our ace, or are we just gonna check it and maybe someone else will stab with something we definitely have beat?
I'm bluff catching.
A lot of
Catching.
a lot of
Yeah.
bluff catching unless that next card wetted the board in such a way that you looked at it and said, I don't want to give a free card more. I don't want to give a free card more than I don't want to be betting my ace into a slightly better ace.
I have a question for you, Andy. If it limps, like I know you said you like to limp and complete with a lot of lower suited aces. I squeeze most of them because generally, I mean, like ace five suited and better, I'm generally going to squeeze
Or
with a
the
couple of
middle
limpers in
aces,
front.
like the 6, 7, 8 that can't give me the wheel, are
Six,
the
seven, eight,
ones the
nine, yeah.
suited ace 7, ace 8, ace 6, where I don't have the wheel equity with it.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll look at one of my hands here in a little bit where I
Yeah.
made a
Yeah.
different play, but
I do like, and
Not
I
every
I
time
like that
thing.
comparison.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And I like Andy's construction of raise your wheel aces or or whatever percentage of the wheel aces you want. Like, so if you want a lot of them, do ace deuce through five. If you want some of them, do ace three through five. If you want a few, do ace four through five. If you want to be conservative but still know what the solver special is, just do ace five and then call the others, and then right around the top, ace king queen jack, do your raises, 10 9 8 7 6 calls, kind of thing. If you put 10 in the raising range, I wouldn't care. It'd be fine. So there we go. So we raise. Easy raise. We like the size. Called in 2 places. Here we go. And
Range bet.
right, and the thing that happens is check, check to us.
I think 3 ways you're gonna bet this a little less often than you're supposed to.
Good draws, good pairs.
Yeah, so we have a backdoor and we have showdown value here. We might not have it
I
by the
agree.
river. Technically it is. So, who is doing something other than what I did? Who's not checking this in this situation?
I think very, very villain dependent. If you know you got a couple opponents in the hand with you that are just kind of, I just want to see the flop,
Yeah.
and they're gonna fold almost everything to a C bet, I might consider putting in a C bet there.
Okay, so let's look at who these guys are. These guys are Zorba, who we've now seen him open. We've seen him open limp, a hijack previous to this, and open limp it here. And the big blind. Let's see if I'm seat 9. The big blind is seat 1 to seat 3. We don't have a note on who he is here.
I generally like a C bet here on this
Well,
texture.
C3 is a guy who has a strong fold tell. That's what we know about him.
I mean,
We
so
haven't
obviously they've
seen it.
got very wide ranges, but one way to look at this is what obvious draws can they call here? This is as dry. I mean, the only thing is the only drier texture is King 7-2 rainbow.
This is pretty damn dry.
It's the wetter the
It's
board
disconnected.
with our low equity here, I think we check more. The
Okay.
drier the board, where they just don't have that many continues. I mean, they'll have continues on like maybe a 5-6, whatever, you know, 7-6. But I think we get a king high board rainbow. I think if there's any board where we see bet range multi-way with position, it's this one.
Okay.
Just looking at texture.
This is
All right.
the driest.
Would you do
board
it?
We don't hate it either way.
possible.
Yeah.
This
So-
is probably a board, actually, now looking at it, I probably would stab
Okay.
or
So
C bet it.
let's go
Because I
back.
know it's just nobody can really have much of anything. I mean, maybe a weak king that we are very likely can get fooled out by the river. Someone might float once with an 8 that
That's gonna
I
fold.
think a lot of things that are going to be in there with us that are not check raising are gonna, we can fold out by the river.
I mean,
Yeah.
do you play beside the point? But do you play on your image? I mean,
On my
you
image,
don't know. You know, frankly, a gentleman of your age has probably got a stereotype of as an OMC.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice to have
Oh.
that.
Well, this is the driest board, so you can bet like frequently and small. And when
Okay.
driest board in the universe, bet all the time and tiny. So I'd say quarter pot all the time. Do you guys agree? Quarter pot all the time? Like the more frequent you bet, the smaller you can get away with. So I'm saying quarter pot.
I agree. You do have value still. But yeah, I mean,
So you can bet like 35 or something like that.
So,
So-
so with this in mind, who here has changed to, C betting this small? Larry, you said you'd consider it. Would you do it? I mean,
Yeah, this is a texture which allows us to bet in this, I think. And because of the dry nature of the board. And
are you
I'm-
gonna
I
see bet
want-
small and be
Sorry?
ready to blast the turn?
if I get one caller, I am. If I get 2 callers, no fucking way.
Okay.
how about if you get okay, and would you
It-
further refine it to if the big blind calls, maybe not, and if the cutoff, and if the hijack calls, more likely to, because this guy calls with another player to go and this guy closes the action, would you consider that?
That is a very good point, and one I had not considered, and one we should consider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I hadn't thought about it, but you're totally right.
Yeah.
I mean, if big blind's calling here with the middle of the sandwich, you have to act. That does imply a slightly stronger range.
So I've heard good reasons for the C bet and I've heard good reasons for the check. I want to know in this specific situation, knowing what we've said about these particular guys. So you have this much information and no other. Who's betting small, who's betting big, and who is checking? Just either yell it out or put it in the chat, your choice.
That
Never
small blast of
checking,
turn.
betting small.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been 50-50 on either betting or checking. I think either is fine. And if you do check, you don't necessarily have to blast turn. Like you,
No, there are turns that you don't have to.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're betting our 6 out draw.
checking, but saying,
33 for me.
but saying I'm checking and I'm betting and thinking about blasting turn is fine. We don't decide that we're blasting turn until we see
Right.
who responds, what the card is, and also how they respond physically and what their size is. We want to look at all those things. Do they tank before they respond? Where are they looking? We want to take everything into account. We don't want to plan it as bet small, blast turn. We want to say bet small, and I'm going to blast a lot of turns in a lot of situations, and that's fine. All right, here we go.
Here is either B33 and then reassess on turn, most likely blasting, or check. And if turn checks through, it doesn't matter what the turn card is. I'm B66.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's take a look at what happens. So I'm being honest and saying I'm checking because I did check in game. So that's clearly what I would do. Hey,
How
that's
did
nice.
you arrive at checking?
I looked at this and I said, this is a three-way pot. In a multi-way pot, generally, if you don't have it, someone does, and ace queen is not it. I went that far, and
Okay.
I have showdown. I don't need to. That's what I thought. Is that the correct thought process? Maybe not. I did not think about how dry
I
the
mean,
board is.
I think your initial thought process is, well, I'm in a multi-way pot with marginal showdown is right. But I
I
think
don't
the
disagree.
subtlety here is texture.
Yeah, I don't disagree with anything that you said, but
Yeah.
I think that the dryness of the texture of the board makes me want to bet it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's how I came to the conclusion that this is 100% bet.
yeah. So my bet so here's the good things about my bet. Because the board is so dry, the only things they can really call with me with is actual pairs. They just don't have very many draws that they can call with. So that's great. So my bet gets through. The other good thing about it is when my bet gets through, I deny them a lot of equity because my ace queen is vulnerable to every other card in the deck that they might have. That's all true.
Yeah, these spots are tough. We just read textures, and this
Yeah.
texture does. I mean, this is a.
So-
You know how nitty I am, and
So that-
there are. I would say the majority of textures I would check back, but this texture is unique.
Okay, sounds good. I like that. And then Brian, I want to say one thing to you about your note. You said their ranges aren't capped yet. Absolutely, because they could be going for check raises.
Well,
But
if
the
they check
next
raise,
thing,
then I fold.
yeah, no, we got that. No, we got that.
There, right?
Right. So Brian, their
got
ranges aren't capped. I agree, but Brian says one thing in his next comment. He says the words bet to get info. And I want to just caution you against that thought process because in modern poker, we don't bet to find out where we are. We need more reasons than that. And yes, it does give us information. It's just something that we used to, 20 years ago, we used to say, I'm betting to find out where we are. And the solvers told us that is not why we bet.
Side note to that, Scotty and Brian, we can check here, and they're going to give us that info on the turn
Yes,
without us having to spend a bet.
right. And now here is the cost of betting here, which is when we get check raised, we are throwing away some equity. Ace queen on a king high board has, we have showdown value against they don't have any bluffs, but we have lots of value. We have lots of equity against an 8. We have a fair amount of equity against a king. Not only might we not get an ace on the turn, we could get a 10 or a jack. We could pick up something really nice that we will miss out on. So those are the competing things.
I guess the thing is, when a board like this flops, people aren't check raising me unless they have 2 pair, in which case I'm more than happy to throw away my
There you go.
hand
If you're not getting checked,
after I bet 1/4 pot.
Yep. That's a good
So
reason to bet.
For my population, I think that my answers are warped heavily for beating 1-3.
Good.
Because that's what 1-3 players do. They'll check raise. If they have king 8 here, they're going to be check raising me. Or
Right. And if they have king jack, which they could easily have, they're going to check call. And in which case you still get to see your turn.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So,
Right.
So I'm more than happy to have them check
Excuse me.
raise me with their 2 pair.
Yeah.
Because they
That,
don't have the balls to do it with.
yeah.
Like,
With that caveat, I think the bet becomes even better.
so
If they're playing against that.
my answer is heavily.
Yep. So here we go. Check. And he bets out 100 into your ace. What do you want to do with your ace queen now?
Oh, happily call.
Yeah, we're calling.
Mhm.
I'm happy to call here.
All right, we call.
I
great.
don't think he has ace king, or else he probably would have bet it. So
Mhm.
I'm happy to call. If he has
Yeah.
ace 8 or ace 4,
You can
good
have
for
ace 8
him.
or ace 4. Those fit.
Good
Yep.
for him.
Yeah,
Right,
I
so
guess the only
I'm happy
other
to play a
option would be if you're thinking about raising.
Yeah, we're never folding. We're never folding. The only question was
I
anybody
didn't
raising?
even
And everybody did what I did. Everybody did the call. Good. All right. The 9. Now, if he bets here, we know what we're doing, right? We're calling
Yeah.
almost any reasonable size bet. We might fold to a jam. We might think about it, but we're calling. That's easy. This is what's interesting. What size?
Yeah, we gotta go for thin value. Now we also have to decide what we're doing to a check raise.
Okay,
I mean,
this is a bet fold here in my environment.
Right.
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. There's
if
a couple
people at
guys on this
1-3
call who sometimes when I talk about we have to think about what we're gonna do to a check raise here, they say, oh, they never check raise. No, they check raise, and
like,
we have to
if people
understand and
checkmate
accept
me
what
at
happens.
1-3, it's easy to fold.
Yeah,
right?
it's an easy fold. So in that case, with that in mind, knowing that we are folding to almost all check raises, there might be a click check raise that we don't based on something, but we're going to do a lot of folding to check raises here. What size? Type it in the chat. What size you want to go? I see Dean saying 3/4 pot, and I want to make one request of you guys. Instead of saying 3/4 pot, I want you to put in the dollar amount, because in a live game, that's what you have to do. You have to put in a set of dollars. So I want you to think in dollars for this. All right. And Dean
Yeah.
puts 3/4 pot. Go fuck yourself, Dean. So I'm seeing 300, 250 to 300, 210. Derek goes 400. Derek's going big. Make them pay for their ace. And he's going to 50. Brian's going to 50.
I'm going
Um,
big because people where I play don't fold an ace on the river.
Right. So you can go all the way to 400. And they never check raise bluff you when you go to 400. If they
not-
click you on 400, you are beat. And you
If they
fold
che-
instantly.
If they check raise bluff me, good for them. They're the
Right.
first person at 1-3 to do it.
Right. And I'm saying if you go 400 and they just go to 800, they just click you, you're still folding.
Oh, it's a snap.
I'm
Okay,
with you.
it's a
I'm
snap
with you.
fold, but I don't pretend that it's a snap fold. I give
Gotcha.
them some size.
All right.
When we
I have a
start
question.
overbetting,
Okay.
when we start overbetting, saying we're targeting an ace, I feel like a lot of live players are just going to continue to bet the river with an ace. They're going to bet smaller, try and okay, maybe I don't have the greatest ace. Please don't raise. Please don't raise. I feel like that's why I feel like I chose 250. Like I'm targeting the king that stabbed the turn, or the pocket sixes, pocket sevens that stabbed the turn. I mean, those are probably never calling, but you might get the king.
Yeah.
Or if they were in
Well,
there
they're
with
not
a
gonna bet a
raggedy
king
ass
when an
ace when
ace
we
comes.
called, like they're never going to call an overbet.
Yeah. So
Okay,
hold on
I
for
don't
one
think
second.
I don't think he has a king because he bet when an ace came. If most people, when they have a king, they don't bet when an ace came. So
Yeah,
I think that they have an ace.
When they have a king, they give you a huge tell when they check and give you a huge tell when you bet, because they're mad that they didn't bet the flop. Okay, I have one question. We have a new player here. And it's spelled XIAOY.
I'm John. I'm John.
John, I
My
wanted
name
to
is John. Yeah.
Hello, John. Good to see you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanna make sure
What's up?
when I said what you said, I want to make sure I pronounced it right. John. So, John, because your note, you had a note that was different than other people's. So, say it out loud.
Basically, if you wanna not fold the check raises, you have to size really small to induce some of his pairs to turn into bluffs.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep, makes total sense. And your
Yeah,
side
so
of that
so
is-
if you want value from like their ace jack, ace 10, or whatever ace, or be like king jack or whatever, the heroes will come from like a bigger sizing. That's what I feel. Like I'll definitely overbet this spot if I think that he has an ace. But if I think he's capable of turning hands into bluff, I might induce the river with a small bet.
So in Derek's game, that would be a bad idea because those guys don't check raise bluff even to the small size. So
Oh,
that-
then we go big. Then we just go
right,
big on the
then we go
river.
big. I like that. And in other games where they do put in check raise bluffs against the small size, that's good. And John, have you
So-
heard what we call the Matt Affleck rule?
Nope.
Okay.
I just joined because I have a
Got
huge game tomorrow and I want to
Great.
study something. Yeah.
Wonderful. So there is something so Matt Affleck is a particularly good player and he put this out there. So we always call it the Matt Affleck rule. It's also, you'll see it in solvers. And it
Okay.
is simply that when you bet on the river in position, you almost never bet less than half pot. And the reason
I've
is,
heard of that. I've heard of that. Yeah.
right. And the reason is that you need to make enough money from their calls to make up for the times that you either have to throw away your hand to their bluff raise or that you have to throw away their hand to value. So
Yes, yes.
now there are reasons to violate the Matt Affleck rule. Like if you go, this guy that you've put somebody on a weak enough hand and you want to get the call and they don't have any of the big hands in their range, from how the game played, and you could bet as small as $50 here. Just go, I want to make him call with, an 8.
Yep.
He can't fold an 8 to 50. So you're using the violation of the Matt Affleck rule in a really interesting way here. I'm not against it, which is you're saying, I think by going small, I will induce the check raise bluff that I'm happy to call.
Yes.
John is
So that's-
exploiting
I think that's a really-
Matt Affleck.
Yeah,
John
I
is,
think that's a really
John is
good point.
putting it to Matt Affleck.
Yeah, and now let's see what size I decide on. I decide on the 200. So I go to the smaller size of these.
Oh, you're doing the exploit the Matt Affleck.
No, I'm not violating Affleck. It's 342.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm not even going 3/4. I'm saying that I'm not
Please
targeting
call.
just an S scared ace. And here's how weak he was. He even folded to 200.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I guess small is probably a better play against his
Not if he had
check.
an ace though. If he called me with an ace, the 200 is too small. If
Yeah,
he called me with the king, the 200 is perfect.
Yep, definitely.
And if he
I can
folds,
see what you're trying to target by betting 200. You're trying to get some kings to call you and all the aces to call you.
So what's the big game that you're playing, John?
I'm playing do you know the stand-up game?
yes,
Yeah, I'm playing
What
like
is that? What is that, John? I don't know.
It's called a squid game, where basically whenever you take down a pot, you get something called a squid. And the last person to get a squid, who doesn't get a squid, has to pay everybody X amount of money, depending on how big the squid is. For my game I'm playing tomorrow, the squid is $50 and the blinds are $10.
Right.
So it
So it's
swings
So
between
you're
like 10 to 20K
So it's an
per session.
anti-old man coffee game?
no, it's the opposite of an old man coffee game.
It's like
Yeah, I know,
it's
it's an
it's
anti-old man
anti
coffee
one.
Oh yes,
yeah,
anti. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
It is the young men. It is the young men White Claw game.
Yeah, it's basically everyone will have to fight for pots. Yeah.
So you can't be an old man coffee and play aces and maybe kings.
Nope.
You can adopt that style, but you have to know, like, when you have blockers in your hand, you have to use them to like bluff pre to try to get a squeeze so that you don't have to pay for the squeeze.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
So what is a squee exactly?
Squid.
A squid.
Squid.
Basically,
What is a squid?
when you win a pot, you get a squid, and you can accumulate multiple amounts of squids
Get
in
a
the
squid.
game I'm playing.
Yeah, Derek, it's
so-
just a marker that says you've won a pot.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So treat it as a marker. So let's say for my game, if you get 3 markers, it multiplies. It becomes 6 markers. If you get 5 markers, it triples. If you get 7 markers, it quadruples. And there's a limited amount of squids you can get. It's number of players plus 5.
John, when you say
Yeah.
it doubles, you meaning the size of the squid bounty doubles? Or the-
Yes, yes.
Okay,
So
so
it-
okay, so
yeah.
this so the squid bounty can get huge.
No. Like for example, let's say I get 3 squid, you get 3 squid, another guy get 3 squid, and let's say one guy gets the rest of the squids, which is, let's say we are playing 8-handed, there's 13 squids, okay? 8 plus 5. Basically, it's number of players plus 5 is the total number of squids. So the people who don't get squids, let's say, because 4 of us got multiple squids, the other 4 has to pay each of us
Oh,
however much squids we have.
Okay, so you're fighting not just to not be last. You being second to last is bad too, and third to last is bad.
As long as you don't get a squid, it's bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a
So-
fun.
so
It's
this
a very
card
fun
then-
variant, and it's like there's a lot of bluffing involved. There's no such thing as nut peddling and shit like that.
So,
This brings
so
up
if you're card dead, you're basically fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
If you play too tight, you're basically fucked. Yes.
Yeah.
So John, this is not the best session for you, buddy.
No, it's okay. I'm here to learn fundamentals, bro.
Gotcha. So just so you know, Hungry Horse put out a video this week on not about different player types and how to beat them. And one of the player types that he brings up is the person who thinks they know GTO. And his exploit against people who think they know GTO is to put on all of the extra games that guy's never studied. So you say, let's play the squid game. Let's play bomb pots. Let's play
Like do
let's play
7.
double and triple straddle. Is you drag him out of his comfort zone that he's studied. And if you can't put on other games, if you can't put in other games, then you do things like you take unnatural lines, you donk more, you put them in situations they didn't study. And I say them, and what I really mean is me. This is what you should do to me.
No, but that means that you don't have a general game theory
Right.
ability, right?
Right. That's what he's saying. He's saying people who think they know GTO but don't. Meaning he doesn't mean to the best players in the world who have also studied GTO. He means people who have only studied GTO and don't have an understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. They are basically opening, they're opening range charts in a suit or in a hoodie.
Oh,
That's more
Then
accurate.
just tell them, let's play Badusi Badasi.
Yes, exactly. You got it. Okay. Next hand. So we bet 200 and he folded. And that was the end of that.
It's spooky how close our bet sizes have become after like 10 sessions together, Scott.
Yep.
So
Here we go.
so
I don't know what-
in that case, I think that John's idea was the best. Just bet small, just bet tiny, and see if he'll just check raise you, and then you're
And then do a
basically
lot of
exploiting
calling.
Matt Affleck there.
Yeah, but the thing that John did that I completely agree with is that John had a very good reason to violate Affleck.
No, I'm agreeing
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
with
right.
John,
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm agreeing
with
with you. Yeah,
Yeah, that if you have a good reason to do it, you do reason. Now, is
Like
the reason accurate? I think in
that's
your view, Derek, it's
leveling
not.
one level higher than the Matt Affleck rule.
Right.
Is exploiting people that know the Matt Affleck rule.
Yes, and in your game,
love it.
Derek, I think that would be a bad idea.
Oh yeah. Like you can't go one higher if they're
Yep.
too lower, right?
Exactly. How many levels should you think? One higher, exactly. One more than your opponent, not two. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So I think that watching Hungry Horse makes me a worse player. Like it makes me lose money.
I can understand that.
So in some ways,
You can just win ABC.
coming here almost makes me lose money
Well,
because
it's money well spent. Eric. It's
I
money well
go 2 levels higher. Like
You
last time
suffer
I
from
played,
FPS.
I lost money. What?
FPS. What's FPS?
FPS, fancy poker syndrome.
Oh, fancy play syndrome. Yes, of course.
So I find that I'm winning more at 2-5 than I'm winning at 1-3.
Good, because the amount of money available at 2-5 is much better than 1-3, even though the play is worse.
Oh yeah.
The play is
yeah.
worse at 1-3. Moving up is good, and the rake considerations go down. So if you're in
Yeah,
a
because
rake,
they raised the session fee to $9 for 1-3.
I love that you're going to 2-5.
So I said,
That would
fuck
make
this noise.
All right. So here we go. We get a call from the low. We get a limp from the low jack, and we have 4-4. Larry likes the overlimp.
Like it.
Okay,
Yeah, anybody behind you that you're worried about three betting
let's see if we,
mercilessly?
let's see if we have a note on.
That would be the only thing, right?
Okay, so. This is before the flop. Yes, this is good. So this is why we call. We look to our left and we see a fold tell, we see a call tell to our left. Someone is taking out the right number of chips to call this. So that
I
makes
love how
our,
detailed your notes are, Scotty.
yeah, that makes our squeeze bad. Because if he's taking out the chips to call with, that means he might call a squeeze, and we do not want to be in a bloated pot with 4-4.
No,
So
we want to be a
that's the other thing.
tiny pot with 4-4.
Yep. And we get this, and then we get the raise here. We get the squeeze to 75. Then we get the blind call of the 75 and another one.
Did you say blind call? Like he hasn't looked at his cards?
No, I said blind. I'm sorry. Cold call.
Cool. Yeah,
Cold
okay.
call. He looked at his cards. Cold call.
So
That
we're
is-
20 to 1.
Dean.
Dean.
Dean,
Getting
back
over
raise
20 to
Betty.
1.
All right.
This is borderline, I think.
No, okay. Well,
Well,
where I
7 days
live,
a week, twice on Sunday.
I can get someone's whole stack when I flop a set. So if I'm getting 20 to 1, totally there,
All right.
right? Like where you live, like, do you get people's whole stack when you flop a set?
In this case, I think we may be able to, because if you look here, so the note where I said the left help check, it's here. Here's where I look to my left and see that someone has brought out calling chips.
Oh, so you're getting like,
Yeah.
30 to 1 almost.
Yeah, I see this.
To,
All right.
to
We
get
get
your
the fold
set.
there, and we get to the flop.
Wow. I know what I'm doing with this.
Yeah, yeah, we know what we're doing. Right? We know we're doing that. That's easy.
One time. Nope.
Up, we're going.
You tell me whether this is one time or not. What do you want to do here?
We ain't-
3 different ranges. I do not have it into me to double barrel this. If there's
I'm
better
tap
players
dancing
out
to
there
the
that
fold
do.
button. Oh yeah, I agree 100% with that, Larry.
But I do not have, I mean, you are now committing to some pretty gangster play.
I gotta get I gotta get a king to fold. That's what I gotta do. I gotta get a king and a 10 to fold.
Well,
don't
we
have to
got
do
naked
it.
I out there too.
I gotta do it by,
I-
I gotta get them to fold by the river, not by the turn. That's the major thing to know here. If I'm gonna do it, I don't need them to fold now.
Yeah, you are committing, I mean, you can go for it, but you're saying essentially, I'm ready to double barrel.
Yes. I think that's the important thing.
And they never think me perceived as an old man coffee is gonna have a bluff here.
Right. That is the important thing here, is that we don't play the old way of betting here about 300, getting a call and going, well, I guess that means that they're not going to fold. I give up. No, we bet 300 here. If we're going to do this, we bet 300 here. And if we don't get raised, and by the way, we may bet smaller. We may bet 200 here, but whatever size we bet here, if we don't get raised, we go for it on the river and we bet enough to get a king or a 10 to fold. Now, the only person here who's doing that is John. So John, what size? Type it in. What's your size here that you bet when you stab? Mike says 4-4 is better to go for it than 7-7, and that's because 4-4 will get 5-5, 6-6, and 7-7, 8-8, and 9-9 to fold, right?
Yeah, all those
Great.
other pairs that if you try to check it down, you're losing anyway. So
Right. Good.
Well, we want to. I mean, if we're going to go for it, we know we got to fire 2 streets, and I like a bet here. I think 125 is too. Could we get called by one person that puts 250 plus is 6? That gives us still a 3 to 1 SPR. Because I like, if I'm betting here, I think our only move is jam river.
Yep.
I
I'm like,
Go
like
big or go
closer to like
home.
300.
Yeah. So here are the reasons to bet bigger. One, when they call, they put more money in for us to win. Because we want them to call. The perfect thing is they call. The easy thing is we bet now and they fold. The perfect thing is we bet now, they call, we jam river and they fold. And so we want the bet now to be as big as they will make it with a king or pocket queens or pocket jacks or a 10. That's what we want to get the most money from that will fold on the river. So that's a reason to bet bigger. The other reason to bet bigger is that we're trying to say we have an ace. And does an ace go really small and then really big? It doesn't feel like an ace. Seems like an ace goes medium,
Maybe.
medium to get called by the king or 10, or big, big to get the most money from a king or a 10. Doesn't seem like it goes
What about
small.
ace 10 of spades?
Ace 10 of spades goes
I hate my hand. I hate my
big and
hand.
big and tries to get maximum money from the other ace.
Okay.
So so I'm with Brian that an ace, Zhao goes, ace goes small, then medium. Okay. And I'm thinking medium, medium. So
Here's the thing. I
Mike
think
says,
that
I never have an ace here.
if they have ace 10, they're not going to check the river for sure, right?
Yeah. When they bet into you on the river, you fold.
Yeah. So you could just say, I'll take my free card and 1 in 22 chance of getting 4.
Can
If
I,
you get it for
Mike,
free.
Mike, can't I have a suit? Can't I
Yeah,
have a
you could have suited ace rag, but
Yeah,
like I said,
that's
you don't have very many.
I don't have very many.
Even your suited ace rags are gonna ISO occasionally.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't have it
I,
a lot.
I'm going to check
Okay.
100% here
Gotcha.
because I don't want to bluff 3 people. But if I did bet, I think I'd want to 2x the river.
Okay.
So if I'm 2xing the river, I'm betting like 130 here.
Okay.
So then I can just shove the rest in on the river.
All right. So let's see. Let's go 200 here for a second. 200 puts 800 in the pot, and we've got 1200 left. So yeah, we have to bet smaller than that. If we
Yeah,
want.
so like a 125, something like
Okay.
that. So you can 2x it on the river.
Okay. And Jean was so with this whole discussion, our initial thing, everybody was to check here, and John was the only one who said that he was going to bet the turn here. So, I would always, John would stab the flop if check to him. Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of ranges. I mean,
Yeah, I wasn't stabbing the flop. I was only stabbing
I don't have an enemy with this many ranges out there.
That's the wettest.
Okay, so John, you're just gonna stab the flop, break down why. Do you want to turn your mic on and say it, or do you want to type it?
He's probably gonna type, but because he's
Oh, he can.
yeah.
Okay. So so John's gonna type in why. And while he's doing that, I was not considering betting the flop. That was not a consideration because there's all the check raises behind. When the ace comes, those check raises are gone. It just seems to me that everybody who doesn't have a boat already bets here to not give a free card to a singleton jack and a singleton queen with an ace. Every ace 9 and ace 5 does it. And some people with boats bet their boats for value now. So this is the moment that is stabbable to me, for me. I'm not saying for you guys. We're going to see why.
I agree with that. I don't like betting the flop because by checking the flop, everyone ahead of us is going to tell us where they are on the turn.
Right.
So-
And they just, and now that they have, everyone but player 9 has told us, but he kind of told us on the flop because he was the last to act. So we kind of know player 9.
Like, does your player pool have people that play any ace? So
In
I
a
have,
limp spot?
my play at 1-3, a lot of people play any ace, any king.
Yeah, two people here could have any ace easily. Oh no, wait, hold on. No, I'm sorry. This is a completely different hand. I forgot the pre-flop action here.
So some of these
No,
guys
nobody
might
has
be
any,
saying,
nobody has any ace in this pot. No one has shitty offsuit aces in this pot.
they put $75 in.
They don't have shitty offsuit aces. I would go as far as to say player two has pocket queens or pocket jacks and just leave it at that. That's what he has. Just,
Okay, and
I mean,
everyone
he
else
has,
has
he has bluffs. He has some weird bluff, but that's what he has. There's pocket nines out here.
Okay.
And now the question is there any ace out there?
Only boats.
By the way, I didn't go for it. So now that we've gone through the whole conversation of it, let me see if, so Jean hasn't clarified hasn't written more about why he's stabbing the flop.
I have a
Why is
question
he-
about sizing here on the turn, and I was starting to think that maybe big here on the turn is better, and then big river instead of small big or medium big, because you bet small here and queen, like you're saying, you see a lot of queens and jacks on play, whatever the big blind is, because they're gonna call. They still have a gutter, and they have equity, so you can fold out everything else when you bet bigger. He calls, and then when you blast the second barrel on the river, and he doesn't make a straight or anything, I mean, you're taking it down almost every time.
Yes, exactly. Now, one thing about that though, against that range, you don't even have to blast the river. You just have to bet the river.
That's I was gonna say you could probably do small medium or big
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah, you could do big medium against that range. What you need to bet big on is
I
to
just
get,
think if you go small, you're still getting called on the river.
yeah, you,
Like
king,
queens.
queen and king jack can call a bet here. But you have to bet big enough to get them to fold on the river. I think that's a sizable amount of what calls you on the turn.
why did you say no one has an ace? Because
Because
they
of-
didn't bet? Is that what
Because
you're
they
saying?
didn't bet twice.
Only
Yeah.
possible person is
Yeah.
9 after
But I
you
think,
check.
but I think nine,
Fairly unlikely
Uh,
because he
Oh,
didn't
they
bet.
bet now.
yeah,
Well,
nine
I'm
can
saying
bet,
prior to us checking, like
right.
whenever you're looking to create the bluff, I think the only person you need to be worried about is 9. So you
Yeah.
can bet here, and if you get called by 9, you're slightly concerned, but not super. And then everybody else you're pretty
Super
much not
concerned
worried about.
about 9 either because if he's got an ace, when everybody checks to him, he's most likely going to bet the flop with the ace.
Right. Wait, hold on. Brian, are you
It's
talking about
true
on
as
the
well.
flop or the turn? Are you talking about
Well,
bluffing
I'm
the
saying,
flop?
but on the flop, you can also still be worried though, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of flop full houses, even though I partially think that he's also capped because he's probably going to squeeze instead of getting squeezed by the big blind. He probably would have squeezed pre-flop with anything that made a full house
Oh, there are no full
already.
houses now.
So
There are no full houses now.
yeah, so I'm thinking you're really just not worried about 9. Now that I think about it more, you're right.
So on the flop, I think you are worried about everybody. Because everybody can be going for a check raise except for 9. 9's the only one who can't. Now here we go. We're gonna read Zhao's thing in just a second. On the turn though, I think on the turn you can now say almost no one has an ace in this situation. People who have trips here with this amount of weakness shown will bet their trips for value because they want to deny equity to a singleton jack or queen. I think. Now, that's why I was saying that you could turn your fours into a bluff now on the turn a lot more. I didn't. And it's going to get really interesting in a second.
Or could just wait for.
Okay. By betting small on, okay, so now this is what Zhao said. This was his reason this is his reason for stabbing on the flop. By betting small on the flop, you can clear out pocket pairs that beat you. 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s. And make hands like Jack, Jack, Queen, 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 King, Jack, 10, Queen, all start to be indifferent multi-way. Multi-way, you don't use big sizes anyway because your nut hands don't want to bet too big and you don't want the medium range to continue. So I agree. So on the flop, if we bet here, we were going to bet small. When it's 5 ways, it's difficult to check raise here, even with a hand like King 10. That's true. Really, you're going to get the only person who's really check raising you is the first guy who went 75, who decided to play it really cute with his pocket aces and his ace king here. But he didn't do that on the turn. He could have been cute to check into all these people with aces or kings. or even tens. But on the turn, he's got to be afraid the turn is checking through also with none of us having anything. He's got to get some value, and he can't just let the jack, the singleton jack and queen
Yep.
just get two free
If
cards.
he has quads, then good for him.
He doesn't have, yeah, exactly. And he doesn't. He's betting them. So
Yep.
that's why we might bluff here. When it's 5-way, it's difficult to check raise even with hands like king 10. So worrying about being check raised is not really a main thing. Yeah, if you're getting check raised, but we were folding to the check raise. We were bluffing. So if we get check raised on the flop, we throw it away. That's easy. Here we go. Except everyone but pre-flop raiser is pretty capped pre-flop, so we're not really worried. Yes, it's the small blind, unless he's already filled up with aces, king, king, or 10-10, but he has no 10-10 because you would bet 10-10, yes, differently. Okay, here we go. So now things get clarified and a little interesting. Everyone folds to us. He was the last guy to stab. We would definitely fold if anybody earlier had bet. Do we
We
consider?
lost our opportunity.
Well, I think
Oh,
Scotty's
I
making a
just-
good point here.
We're either going
Read-
600 or
Read
400.
into the bet size.
It's small. It is not a confident bet.
I mean, it means two things though when it checks to him.
So
It's either
we're
really
thinking
strong or really weak.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
one of
can-
those smaller size that's super polar.
I would throw the check raise here, I think, even though it makes no fucking sense. But in my games, people would fold to check raises like crazy.
Do you know what I think a better check
So-
raises here? Jack 10 or Queen 10. Jack 10 and Queen 10 have two qualities we like. They're blocking nuts, tens.
Yep.
And they have a draw
He doesn't
to-
have tens.
No,
to,
us.
a Broadway.
Well, I'm saying
So I
he
think
doesn't
if we're
have
going to
10.
choose to have a check raise bluff, we want the qualities of blocking the 10x, or sometimes blocking the king x, but blocking the 10x and also having a draw to Broadway.
I think
What by blocking a 10 or a king, he
King's
had
not
less-
as important because he doesn't have.
He doesn't have
many-
ace king, but he could have ace
I'm-
king.
I think he has king 10
I
and
think
ace
blocking
10.
the 10 is really important here, and then also having the redraw. I think if I only find this with Jack 10 or Queen 10,
I don't find it. But
but
thought-
I think Jack 10 and Queen 10 have very interesting check raise bluff qualities here.
yeah, I would be very interested in whether Sam would check raise here against this size, if he would read everything into the sizing and go with it. So who mentioned sizing in the first thing? Jean said sizing, and was it Mike?
Yeah, I just said read into the bet size.
Right. So reading the bet size, what do you want to do?
Ah.
What do you read into the bet size, and what do you want to do for it?
For me personally, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've seen me spew in these situations, and it's often fine, like results wise. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is a read, right? This is not something that you intended to do. It kind of happened in front of you now. Now, can you
Yeah.
react to it? And I say, absolutely, you can react to this, and yeah, make it like 500.
Okay.
I like more talk. I like the check raise.
If you make it 500, do you have a?
I
Sorry, I
think
interrupted you, go ahead.
having. I was gonna say, I think having the fours is better than like a Queen 10, Jack 10 to check raise here, because it's more likely he has a king or a 10. And if we have like King Jack, Queen Jack, or Queen King, oh, we never have King Queen, but if we have a naked king, naked 10, we have showdown value. Against this size, we can just call and see what he does on the river, because he might be stabbing with 7s, 8s, 9s.
Well, yeah, I think I like Queen 10 or Jack 10 more because it has two very important qualities. It's blocking nuts, 10s, and it has a redraw to Broadway.
But he
And it's
just,
blocked. And it
he
blocks
just,
queen jack.
I mean, I think he just never
That's where
has
I think
tens
like
here.
Queen 10, Jack 10 is better to just call and see what happens on the river.
Yep. So both those points, we don't know the answer of which is better. And we can't look at it in a solver, but everyone's given their reasons, and I think that's good. We don't have to convince each other. We got to be clear about our reasons. So that's good. The bluff here, so, Mike was on the 4-4, Mike liked the 4-4 for the bluff more than the queen 10 and the king jack. Zhao liked the 4-4 better. He wants to unblock, he wants them to have a king or a 10 when they do this. So we've heard both those arguments. And now the last thing I wanted to put on here was this. If we check raise here and he calls, do we want to go for a blank river
It's hard.
and jam it?
I think we gotta go huge.
Yeah, it won't be huge.
We're jamming. Oh no, if we
Yeah,
go for
you
the
gotta
river,
go
it's-
huge.
Well, it won't
And-
be. It won't be that big though. That's the problem.
right. It's going to be all the chips, but it's not going to be that much relative to the pot. But remember, absolute size, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, I think
okay,
you could
absolute
argue
size.
here
So
for-
even though it's
dollars.
going to be like a B75, the
Yeah.
amount of money to this person might be something. Is what you're saying?
Well, then like a
Um,
min click back could be better here because it looks super
Yeah.
strong. A min click
Yeah.
and then jam river instead of putting your whole and now you're in a good spot. Because if you min
like
click
the
back, he
idea.
might jam back over top with something super strong. You get the hell out of there. And
Yeah.
otherwise, then you have a load for the river to
Right.
knock
I
him
love
out.
that, Brian, because it sets you up to just bet like 1,200 on the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just perfect. So just min click back and then 12.25 on the river.
Okay, now let's look at one more size here, which is min click plus. Jean is doing 250 and I'm
I
gonna
like
do
250.
and I'm thinking 300.
200,
Um,
250.
300 puts 600 more in 1,000 there, and we still have a just over pot. So yeah, I'm doing 300, and here's why I'm doing 300 if I do this, which is the pot size bet is still big, and it doesn't look Brazilian. You know, it looks like I want you to call the turn, and now that I know you can call the turn, I want all your money on the river.
I also agree with what Jean is saying in the chat, but I also think that it doesn't really matter against bad players if your line makes any fucking sense.
Costs nothing to check second to last. It cost us nothing to check turn second to last.
When saying bluff doesn't make sense because nothing checks the turn second last to act.
Yeah, we
Right.
would like with our aces, we're putting money in, but I think at least at my pool, I can make this play, and they're not going to think anything to it. They're instantly a lot of the time going to be like, "Ah, shit, you got the ace."
You got
Fold.
me. You just got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There we
Now
go.
your player pool is better than mine though, so they might read into it more and call down. But I still
might
think
be
it's a
still-
hard
yeah.
call when you jam the river.
Yeah.
If you min click and then jam the river, and they have a king or a 10.
Yeah.
They're in a hard spot.
Yeah, but I held off this,
And
that I
for-
held off because I'm representing a boat. And he has to believe that I checked my boat on the turn with only one player to go.
Can I just make one more point about my argument for queen 10, king 10? I'll leave it.
Yes.
It's actually queen 10, jack 10. Well, because it feeds into what you just said. So if we are going to represent a trap vote, what do we want to block? We want to block boats. So that's why we really like having a 10x here.
True.
We also like blocking straights when we're representing a boat because a straight is the easiest thing to call and then go, oh fuck, I got screwed by a boat. I flopped the straight. I'm so unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do block that, so that's good too. Yep, those are good reasons. I just didn't do it.
I mean, it's a hard play to make. I don't blame you.
But it would have been good to see that size. Now, the other thing about this hand, now we'll go on, is the sizes on these 1500s, we don't know that these are right. We know that I have more than 1500 at this point. We don't know whether this guy had a full stack or not. We just don't remember. Because we didn't try to bluff him.
Oh,
We-
well, then everything we just said just goes out the window, Scott.
Yeah.
Right, we could have each had 4,000, in which case there was plenty behind. But our logic is good there. And had I thought about bluffing him, I would have looked at how much money he had. Absolutely. Which also is the lovely tell of when people have value, what do they do? Where do they look? At your stack to see how much money they can win. So I like that. All right. Seat one is not loose. He's folded a lot pre-flop. He is probably an old man T. Just a little racist joke for you guys. Seat four has open limped in the pre, low jack -1. Let's reevaluate his tag. We thought he was good. Is he adjusting? He showed that he had ace eight suited. He open limped ace eight suited. So we now think, is he adjusting to the way the table is playing, or is he just not a good player? We're starting to think he's not a good player. We saw Zorba limp ace five suited, so we know he doesn't know solvers. Small blind limped a 9-9 after an open limper, maybe after even a limp plus limp. We don't have who that small blind is, but we're seeing how limpy this table is.
Seat 8.
Seat 8, does it say? Oh, seat
Says
8.
small.
Yes, thank you. Seat 8. It says, this doesn't say small blind. This just says seat 8. I didn't read my own notes. So, and seat 8 is, I think, Zorba. But I'm not sure. I'll go back. I would have said that. Okay. Seat 1 limped at a limp and folded to 60 out of position. So he's not loose, nor is he stubborn. This is our evaluation of seat 1. Seat 2 is not folded to a 3-bet yet. So is he stubborn? It fits with the fact that he has a angry resting bitch face. Resting blind face. That's what it is. Angry resting blind face. Okay. I bet pot, which was 100 on the turn in a 3-way. It happened to be a bluff at a flush completer. After a check flop, because I had, because I saw a fold tell, so I bluffed it. The other guy, when I did the bluff, he doesn't look at me. He thinks for a while, he folds, he has something to fold. I didn't even have a bluff card or any other EQ, EV. I just bluffed based on a read from one guy. But the important thing here is that this guy, while he was thinking, he had something, and he never looked at me to try to get to see anything about me. So you guys who are afraid that they're going to look at you and see into your soul, they're not even looking at your soul so far. Got offered a table change. I declined. Will I regret it? I haven't been in a hand with Steven yet, so maybe I'm fine here. The other table has at least 3 regs. One might be better than me, but likes to play crazy. He flips for stacks blind, things like that.
Holy shit.
Or maybe he's much worse. My memory was that he was solid, but he might just be Russian.
So I like to flip for stacks all the time.
Yep. That's going to come up at the end.
Because they play so bad deep.
You want them deep. Flip for
So-
stacks, let them win their stack, bid him back with a set of 3s.
So
Nobody looks at Scotty for some reason. Thank you. All right, here we go. Now the next.
when you get offered to flip for stacks, do you always accept?
Now it's coming up. Wait for it, Derek. Wait for it.
Okay.
I told you I had a Derek coming up. That's what it is.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Oh, we shouldn't be able to know that he has ace king offsuit.
Gotta click that button.
You.
I thought I did. So we don't know he has ace king offsuit.
Okay.
So we open our jack 10 suited in the low jack, which is a partial. Sometimes you can fold this. In a 3-blind game, maybe you should fold it more because there's one more player behind you. So you're sort of more in this position. You're somewhere between low jack -1 and low jack. So maybe this is a fold, but screw that.
What?
All right. Well, okay. In low jack -1, what do you do with jack 10 suited in this
Open.
position? It's a common fold.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I'll just show it to you. I mean, it's not that it's not a pure fold, but let's see. So, let's look at a
Jack 10
nice
suited.
9-handed. Let's look at a nice 9-handed thing and see low jack -1. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just wrong. I'm just wrong.
That's a 2x open though.
Oh,
if
thank you. Thank you. 2.5. And remember, we're going to
Yeah.
3. Here we go. Here we
2x
go.
is still going to be in there, or 2.5 is still going to be in there. 3 starts to get a little lower.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Is I knew that this was not pure in this position, and that's with 2 blinds. I'm going to 3 with 3 blinds. So maybe not, but I did it. It was just it was a thought. We don't have any charts for a 3-blind game. So we are making it up as we go along. But we open it. get called.
I think it's
And
totally fine to play Jack 10 suited.
Yeah,
on
versus your
Yeah.
player pool, absolutely it is.
Right. Yeah, so we did. And we get raised, and I think that this is a good fold against this raise. I think
You can call.
we can. I think it's a better fold than a raise. Let's
The
see.
button had
I
folded and we're
agree.
heads up, it's a call, but
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't like the button being in there, so it's either gonna be a 4-bet or fold.
Yeah.
So we'll simulate it this way. We will simulate it with just an everyday 3 big blind open. As if, okay, here we go.
Well, like my player pool doesn't 3-bet enough.
Yes,
So you should fold
So
this.
when they do
Yeah.
3-bet, I fold a lot. I over.
yep, this is, you should fold this,
Yeah.
I think.
So I should I think that I should always play it,
Yeah. Mix here
but always fold it to a 3-bet.
and, ooh. Oh no, hold on. Sorry, we didn't get the raise in. Sorry, I was an idiot. There's your raise. And
That was
lots of folding in this. However, this is to 15.
Little tiny sliver of calling.
Yeah, a little tiny sliver. He went to 130 instead of 150. I think it's still a fold. I think this is a good fold. So we get to see this, what he did. Let's go back to the hand. So we fold. This guy calls. He bets out half pot. No,
Looks
sorry,
like pot.
he bets pot. I looked at it too late. He bets pot on this, which is kind of, oh, he just bets all in. He just jams.
And he gets looked up.
He gets looked up.
That,
Ooh,
like
Gooner
it.
ball.
wow. That
Take
is,
that, ace king.
Yeah.
that is gambly.
Yeah,
Oh, thank God.
right. And
Well, I mean, there's two parts that are gambling here, right? Everything about that is gambling. The
Yeah.
call pre and the call on flop.
I felt when I saw the 10 here, when he jammed, it was like, I thought about going, would I have called this jam in game?
What are your pot
If I
odds?
called? I think I would have. The
What-
pot would have
so
been, the pot would have been 420 when he did this. So I think I have to call with an open ender and 2 overs.
And
it's
a
very-
backdoor flush.
And a back
Yeah,
door
I
flush.
think you have to call.
So I would have
It's
called.
really fucking uncomfortable with the guy behind.
It is.
Which makes this an even better fold pre.
Yeah. And then this happens. And I beat him. And then if this guy was in there, I then lose to him. How annoying. So it didn't happen. In this position, so let's do the thing where we call here, and he calls behind with the queen jack. We believe that. Flop comes here. We don't know he jams into 2 players, but let's say he does. He jams into 2 players, and the pot is 420 here.
You have two choices and they're both shitty.
Raise, call, and we have 3. Raise, call, and fold, and they're all shitty.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't want to raise into a dry side pot like that, right? Like
Mhm.
with
Well,
Two
I
overs.
mean, it's a,
Raising the
that's why it's a
ISO.
tough position. There are reasons to raise. I mean,
Yeah.
you are denying equity and you're generating folds from maybe 8x. You're generating folds from 6 and 7,
Yeah.
6s and 7s. There are reasons to ISO shove, but it's uncomfortable as fuck.
Yeah.
I'll say like there's basically nothing in the dry side pot.
But this
Zero.
this is different. The side pot is imagine we call and he calls, and then the turn comes and we don't. It's whether you bluff that turn. This raise here is different than a dry side pot. While he's all in, you're pricing him out. It's a different thing than your dry side pot logic.
I mean, I think dry side pots are more of a consideration in tournaments where you are concerned about knocking people out and getting ladder and stuff. I don't.
No,
Are they as important in cash?
we still have them. So imagine this. Imagine that we chose to call here. This would be a reasonable call, right?
Yeah.
So we call and he calls behind. And now the pot is 15, is 1,800 and we've got 1,000 left. And the turn is a blank, a deuce. We have nothing. The reason that it's dumb to bet here, to bluff in his dry side pot here, is because this guy, with whatever he had, his pocket deuces, he's still there. He can't fold. That's
Yeah.
where don't bluff into a dry side pot comes from. But this
Got it.
here is not a bluff. This is to deny equity to the button.
Yeah, I mean, I think on flop you're talking about.
On flop, which as it turns out, had we done it, would have been a great play because of the actual hands and the actual card that came.
Yeah, equity denial is important here. It's a very awkward position. I mean, that's why, in theory, we don't have flats here, right? I mean,
Right.
we don't see flats here. There aren't tell me if I'm wrong, Mike. Mike's our solver whisperer. I can't envisage a solve that I've looked at pre where in this configuration you have flats in your position.
Oh, you mean just here?
Here. You don't have flat. Well, yeah,
Sure I
you
do.
don't. I don't think you really have them.
Sure I do. Look at them. Hold on. This is, no, wait a minute. Look this.
You
So-
got to have a flatter in there, man.
He raised, he called, there's the raise. It comes back on the under the gun. I got lots of flats.
All right, I'm lying.
Look at them all.
This is chippy V, but that's beside the point.
Flats than raises. I have more all ins. Sorry. I have more flats than raises plus all ins.
Okay, I'm lying.
Yeah. Plenty of flats. The weird thing is when I flat, how many double flats does what is the double flats button double flatting range?
But I'd
Funny.
set mining.
That is a double flat
And the
range.
infamous ace queen suited.
Yeah. I would claim that that live, this is not what a double flatting range looks like.
True.
All right, here we go. So, that hand went, and this was, so when the ace king jammed and the queen jack was thinking, I didn't do my thing I should have done. I should have been staring at the queen jack to see where he looked. Because this is a hard thing for him, right? He's got a call with 2 overs and a gut shot. So he should be looking at the other guy at this point, and I didn't see whether he did or not. All right, a Bollywood dancer is sitting in seat 2 now. He's our new guy. Seat 6 is open, limped, a jack, in very early position. Low jack -2. Our old man T in seat 1 has left. Seat 2 is left. Seat 2 is someone we've played with before. Seat 1 is the guy in S8, seat 8 who's moved over. Here we go. Here's our hand. Ace 7 suited. Limp to us. There might have been another limp. The note says lots of limping. So there might be another limper before us. We don't know.
I mean,
This is easy complete from the big blind. What do we
Right.
think from the small blind?
you never really complete here, do you? I mean, if, in theory, you're really not supposed to, right?
This
We
is,
don't know.
we
Against
talked
limps-
about this
against
earlier.
limps we
This
can.
is one of those middle suited aces that we're gonna try and cooler somebody.
Yeah. Remember, I have 3 in there, not
65.
2. That's the one thing.
65. Let's go.
Okay. John says, let's dominate some flush draws. All right, let's dominate some flush draws. And we got the result we wanted. We got to see the flop.
Larry and Scotty, I know you guys are Crush Live Poker fans, and I've just sort of been listening to it. And the limited amount of viewing I've seen from his channel, he is adamant against completing from the small blind in the 3 blind structure.
Yeah,
Is
he
there-
says
is
you're,
there-
yes, he says you're strongly incentivized not to, especially in a raked game. This is a raked game and all those things. But strongly incentivized isn't the same as never. Maybe this is a mistake, but I'm just saying, I'm with you. He is against it, but
This is one of the few spots. Like there's not many,
yeah,
but this is one of the few spots that we can, and with the explicit thought that we're trying to dominate and cooler somebody.
yeah. But then again, we're also dominating, coolering them from out of position, which is hard to get full value
Right.
from when it happens. But yes, Here we are.
This is a spot I end up squeezing most of the time, but
Would you squeeze this hand?
yeah, I'd squeeze. I don't know. Whenever we talked a while ago, I asked you about, your squeezing range, because obviously in the small blind, your opening range is super wide here, but my
Right.
open range is I'm opening this from low jack.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
would
me
still
too.
consider squeezing here because I look at it like a cutoff range then basically. And
Okay.
I'd still open this.
That's fair.
Yeah, in a regular two blind format, I would squeeze here. Absolutely.
Yeah, make it 60.
Okay, what's
Yeah,
the
about
price?
60. About
Yeah.
60,
50,
yeah.
55 minimum.
'Cause I think
Yeah.
if
60, 65, 70, all fine.
if I remember right, his thing is you're putting in 8. Okay, completing from the big blind is different
7.
than completing from the small blind here.
Yeah.
Because
7.
you're putting in 8 out of
Yeah.
position.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, go
Also,
on. I now remember what he said. Go on with your whole speech. It's you're putting in 7. Remember, this is 3-5, not 2-5. But go on.
Okay,
Same
gotcha.
thing. Make your point now.
But yeah, and again, I don't usually complete from the small blind, even in a two blind rake structure. This one just seems like it just makes sense to me to ISO here.
Okay.
More so than limping. And of course, we can limp behind here and you can probably be profitable, right? I'm sure.
Right.
So it's which one
the
is
only
more
thing
profitable?
the only thing I don't like about the squeeze is that when you do flop top pair, at least in my games, you can be dominated a decent amount of the time. Like if you flop an ace, you can still be dominated a decent amount of the time.
Yeah. Because they don't fold their ace
8.
9 offsuit and ace 10 offsuit
Yeah.
or an ace jack
I mean,
offsuit. What are you
I
gonna
have people that limp ace king. So
Yeah.
it's hard to play
Okay.
I mean, I have a hand I'll show you later after we're done, but it perfectly shows what the fuck happens in the games.
Yeah. So the thing that Mike was saying, and I completely agree with this because I remember him saying this now and I forgot. I just completely forgot this, which is from the small blind, you're saying, I would like to play a hand with the worst possible position in poker. And yet that hand is not good enough to raise.
Yeah, I think it is good enough for ace.
Right. That's what they're saying. So if your hand isn't good enough to squeeze with here, why are you playing it in the worst position, ultimate multi-way? And
Yeah.
the answer is because like a pair of deuces, 3s, or 4s, it's easy to know when you have the nuts. That's
It's a
the answer.
it's a lot easier to fold your deuces when you miss than it is your ace when you miss. It's the
Yeah.
problem.
Well,
Or when you hit.
ace when you hit an ace, that's the problem.
Yeah,
You
I
have
mean, like when you hit a set of deuces, you generally have the nuts versus when you
Yeah.
hit an ace, you don't have the nuts and you're just gonna lose a shitload of money a lot of the time.
Yeah. So the way you have to play this is you have to lose not a shitload of, if you're going to play it, you have to lose a piss load of money, not a shitload of money.
Yeah,
You
small
can't,
shit.
you can't say I'm not going to lose anything. You can't just fold your ace to a check, 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 and then the button stabs. You got to call, I think, at least once. But you can fold your ace to a bet and a raise trivially. And you can fold
yeah.
ace maybe to a bet and a call. Just a single bet and a call you can fold to, maybe.
Which is hard.
Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold my 7, but yeah. So I'm thinking that I now don't like my play here and that I would prefer doing some more folding here and some more raising with this exact hand.
Would it be a blunder to
And mostly
never call in
No.
the small blind?
No, it would not be a blunder. It would absolutely not be
Eric's
a blunder.
simplification could be never call in the small blind in a three
Blind game.
blind game.
I think that would
unless
be.
Like even with deuces, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, you don't give up that much. I mean, deuces may be profitable, but they're not massively profitable. And yeah, I think a good way to do this would be to say, can I raise this hand? If not, then I fold it. I think that would be a better play for me. And I think I'm going to start doing that for the next 3 months and let you know what happens. I think that's
Okay.
I think I want to change this. And this hand will illustrate also about that, which is I get the only other good kind of flop I can get.
Woohoo! Top pair.
Yeah, top pair,
Let's
top
go.
kick. Who cares?
I mean, that's better than an ace.
I know that's the problem, right?
Way better than an ace.
Right. So
Let's pot it here.
now
We're potting it.
you want to just pot out into multi-way? I don't.
Oh yeah, I'm just potting it into 4 people. That's
All right.
because if they have like, what's the chance that they hit this?
Yes. All right,
Pretty
let's see.
high.
7 high?
5-6 exists. I'd
Okay,
squeeze
There's
like,
a lot of
5-6
bullshit
wins.
4-3, 7-4, all that
Okay.
bullshit.
yeah,
If they
hold on one
play
second.
7-4, good for them.
Hold on one
We're
second.
potting
Well,
it.
player three can have 7-3, 4-3, and 7-4.
We're potting
Right.
it for value. We're
Right.
potting it for value.
Okay, let me just read one thing. Zhao said he'd squeeze ace 10 offsuit in this situation, even ace 9 suited, even ace 9 offsuit. Same for all suited aces where it's actually very, very profitable playing multi-way in this kind of games where everyone's limping random suited stuff. If we're assuming they're limping a lot of queen X and king X suited, I think it would be
Yeah,
a blunder I think it would be a blunder to fold. And then he likes to lead here and he's going to lead 20. Dean is
No, pot. 20 is ridiculous.
Yeah, Dean is going to lead when Dean says 4-4 and 3-3 are out there. I agree, they're out there.
Sure they
I
are.
know what I'm going to do here. I'm going to do what Larry does. Larry, what do you do here?
Check raise.
Well, at least check. We start with a check. There's our check. There's a
But
bet
you
of
can't-
30 into 50. So this is a relatively big bet. And there's a
oh
raise.
Christ.
Whoa. No, throw it away.
Out.
Fold, fold, fold.
Right,
Fold,
now we
fold,
fold.
fold. Get rid of it.
Right, now we fold. Great, easy.
Larry, why would you want to check raise this hand?
I'm exaggerating. I would not check this raise.
I was gonna say I love check raising.
4 people. That's a little too much for me when there's locked up equity on the board.
I love
Would
the
you
bet
check
fold.
raise against, would you check raise against player 9 stabbing here for 15?
I would check raise if I had a 6 of spades.
So are we how many players here have 16 combos of 5-6?
One, maybe, well, let's say 1.5.
Yeah,
We'll
'cause
say
6
2
nines and-
because obviously
All
the
players except, John says all players except you.
Yeah, I'm not check raising this hand.
Okay.
Into I mean you're playing against 4 fucking ranges, guys.
Mhm.
Check raising this, it does not. I mean, I would check raise it with top pair and then a front door, but I'm not gonna do a top pair and a back door.
Well,
Okay.
I'd
How
do
about this?
top pair gut shot or any
Okay.
pair
I
and a
would
gut
lose
shot.
more money.
Okay, how about this, Larry? So I'm gonna give you the 2. So you check. Player 2 bets 15 and it goes fold, fold, fold. So now you're betting into, you're check raising into one range, but it's a range that was willing to bet.
Yeah, into
Into
3
4 range.
people.
4
I'm not going to check raise this.
So you're gonna check call him, right?
Yes.
Okay, good enough. And you're gonna check call him and you're gonna check call player 9. But to this, it's easy. We throw it away,
it's
no
easy.
problem. He checks. The other guy
Oh.
bets, goes all in for 400. We're out of there. And of course, what are their hands before I show them?
Someone's got a set one, someone's got 5-6.
Somebody
No,
has
no,
7x.
that's
Somebody has
stupid.
7x and somebody has.
Both have sevens.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
oh, you had them cooked.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
what the fuck?
Yeah, but I
That's
still think
insane.
I still am I'm still with Joey on this hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't be
this-
result oriented.
This
Yeah.
happens a lot to me when I'm playing PLO double board bomb pots.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fold a good hand, but not good enough. And it gets to showdown, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
Am I just a nit? And it's just, I mean, it's
This-
hard, but
This is the time.
it's
You-
it's profitable to be disciplined.
All
You
right.
gotta love it though, Larry. That's what makes us money.
Yeah,
Shit
I
like
mean,
that.
I just have this internal struggle about if I should be lowering my value thresholds.
All right.
All right, you got another. Okay, so so you're hero
I'm hero. There I
in
am
the big blind.
in the big blind with the mandatory straddle on.
Yeah, I guess we complete.
Right. And one other piece of information. The straddle shows, oh, sorry, the straddle, before we call, we look to the left and we do not see him prepping a squeeze.
That
That
is
doesn't mean he's not
important.
going to squeeze, but he's looked at his hand already.
All right,
I'm with
reverse tell. Do you ever then here as straddle faux prepare a squeeze? Act
Um,
like you guys preparing a squeeze.
I don't bother, but you might be able to. I don't know how many people are doing what I'm doing. But no, I never do. You know why? I haven't looked at my hand yet. I don't look at my hand early.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it. So no, I never fold because I never look.
Okay.
And by the way, when I say never, I mean I almost never look. There are times when you sort of get to here, this guy's kind of considering, and you save a little time, and then you look down at your hand sort of as he's doing his thing. So I
I
do it,
used to
but I
I
try
used
not.
to do that, but I stopped doing that.
Which that did you stop doing? The not looking or the look?
Not pre-looking
So now,
because it makes me look much more serious,
and
and
you
I
want to
want to
goofy.
get the drunk sorority girls vibe on.
Okay. So that's fun. The question is, given how clueless your players are about poker, they might be equally clueless about what good poker looks like. So
Yeah, yeah,
you might be wasting some energy there, but you're not losing that much because when you look at your hand, you're not broadcasting a bunch of tells either, right? You're not broadcasting a bunch of fold tells. So yeah. So
See,
like
I'm
that.
with John on this. John asked a question in the chat, but I also
Yeah.
agree with him because in my game, when there's tons of limpers, obviously I'm going to squeeze much larger. It's just
Mhm.
prints because they fold out once you go over, you know, a certain size. Everyone just folds out. Generally, some people will call off. But how likely is it that when you squeeze here to what would it be like 30, 40, 50, 60, like
no,
70, are you getting a lot of folds?
85.
Well, the answer is we saw the guy go to 75 and get 3 calls. So sometimes I'm getting folds, but
I'm guessing if they call 75, you should make it like 90.
yeah. So
Like, so the guy's not the guy to your left is not squeezing, so you can make it 90 without knowing that he doesn't have a hand.
Right. Derek, were you here? Were you here when we were doing our squeeze sizes to 100 and one guy limps and we go to 140? Were you in for that session?
Well, how deep were the stacks?
Not that deep.
No, I wasn't in.
That was 400. So what happened was we were playing against a guy whose VPIP was on the order of 90%, and he was always limping, and he would call oversized raises. And so he would limp and I would make it 140 and he would call.
Oh, perfect. Try
That's
150.
perfect. Yeah.
No,
Still
I
calls.
found the number. Yeah, that's it. I kept pushing over. What number will you fold to? Let's find out what it is.
Try 160 next time.
Yeah, let's throw a hundo in. I would keep testing the threshold. Okay. So so we've seen some reason, some people have posted, Zhao's posted about turning this into a squeeze bluff. We have reasons to complete with it. I think if you folded it, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. You're throwing away some, you're throwing away some EQ with this amount of pot odds, but it's just, I think if you fold it, it's too tight, but not way too tight. Who wants to squeeze this? And who just wants to complete and see what's going on?
I think we want a blocker.
Squeeze
This
big.
squeeze sounds pretty gangster. I respect it. I'm not finding it.
Yeah.
I would like a squeeze more with a hand with more equity, like a 6-7.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna squeeze 6-7 every time.
6-7.
So I think I'm gonna squeeze 7-5, just bigger than 6-7.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are we using
this brings up one
6-7
other thing.
every time?
On
'Cause if you
6-7.
if you squeeze and everyone folds, you're wasting the equity that your hand has.
Oh,
Because that 7 deuce is just as good.
it is, but you're not wasting the equity because they don't always fold. So remember, you're playing it 1,000 times, and so you need
Yeah.
some of that equity when they don't fold.
And then
You
you
know
play a
how,
big pot with a hand that can make the nuts.
right, you guys know how that when a board is 7, 8, 10, or even more when the board is 5, 7, 8, a 5, 7, 8 board, that you should worry a little bit more, not a lot more, about straights from goofy players, because the players who say it's my favorite hand, when players say what's my favorite hand, what is the hand that they generally have?
7 deuce.
Jack 10.
69, dude.
69, dude.
Yeah.
He's right. There's a ton of 69 is overrepresented in my best hand compared to 68. And let's just say 3-5. You know, that's the one. And now that's the new one. That's Mike's pointed out. 6-7 is starting to show up as my favorite hand. So people can win the pot and go 6-7.
Oh God.
So just be aware of that how 6-9 is just a little overrepresented. 6-7 is getting there now. Younger
Oh,
people.
I just ran into this last weekend.
Yep. It's starting to make its way into the game.
I don't even know where the fuck that comes from. I know it's supposed to, I should know. I'm not that old.
No, don't even worry about it.
All right, we're done.
Why is
nothing.
6-7?
I will put
Why was 6-7
I will put a
getting a tip?
link up for you of a linguist talking for 40 minutes on it. I watched it because I'm a crazy person. All right, here we go. Let's
No,
go.
just summarize it. Summarize it. I don't know why.
There's a
for
song
45
by
minutes.
Skrilla where he says 6-7. There's a rap
That's
song.
what it is.
A song by who?
Skrilla. Skrilla is the name of a rapper.
I'm so out of it.
Yeah. And anyway, that's
But
where
I'm
it comes
not a
from.
rapper.
And then but it really comes from just being the meme itself is generated more by its memeness and less by its origin. If you know what I mean. So
I'm so happy I'm on the right side of 30.
there you go. Exactly. On the right side of 60. All right, here we go. So we do the complete and not with all this. Who here is squeezing this? So if you're squeezing, put a yes in the chat or yell out yes. We've got a yes from John already. John is squeezing. Brian is squeezing. Scotty is obviously not squeezing because he didn't. Ashwin is not squeezing. Larry, I'm saying Larry's not squeezing, but I could be
I would
right.
like to say that
Andy's not. Larry's
that
not.
I squeeze here, but I don't because my players don't have a fold button.
Gotcha. Yeah, you shouldn't squeeze. And
right?
then
like when I move up, when players have fold buttons, I can squeeze, but not against 1-3. You don't.
Yeah. And then
like
the thing that I like,
if you bet like 90 here, they're still gonna call.
And the thing that I like most about the opportunity that these people have given you, the gift they've given you in your small blind by going limp, 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 and how to take advantage of the gifts that they have given you is if you're going to do some squeezing here and some calling, let's aim towards the squeezing with the 6-7 and the 7-8 and aim towards the calling with the 5-7 and the 6-8.
No, I don't do that. I squeeze with hands that run hot, cold well.
Okay.
So that means aces, kings,
yeah,
that kind of stuff. Because I don't squeeze with low suited connectors because there's not enough hot, cold running.
Yeah. So Derek, I don't just
this wouldn't be my choice of squeezing.
Right. I don't disagree. I was saying something slightly different. I was saying if you want to squeeze hands in this region, but you don't want to do it 100, but you don't want to squeeze every hand in this region. If that's your goal, I'm saying a really good division rather than trying to do 7-5 half the time and 6-7 half the time. Let's do 6-7 most of the time and 7-5 very little.
No, I don't do that at all.
Right, because you don't want to squeeze anything in that region. I'm just saying if you want to squeeze in that region. All right, Micah said 6-7, we're moving on.
So I double the number of pips on the biggest card and then add the number of pips in the other card and then add 2 if it's suited.
And how big does that number have to be to squeeze?
What?
How big does the number have to be to squeeze?
And then if it's over 30.
30 is a squeeze. Okay.
I squeeze.
It's the old sage.
Because that basically gives you a range of how hot and cold it runs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what because you're getting, if you squeeze and they call, then you're very close to your hot cold, having to run hot cold, because there's lots of people that buy in for like tiny amounts.
There it is.
There's run into that.
There's the math. I just put it in for you. Mike, is that how 6-7 is spelled?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, good enough. Let's move on. All right, so we get 7-5. And now let's watch Scotty misplay a hand. Here we go. So nobody hates the call with a 7-5 suited. Even the people who they would squeeze it, they're okay with the call. They just think the suit is the thing better. Okay, let's watch Scotty misplay this.
Check Ray. Oh,
this guy bets 20 into 50. Okay. So what's the first thing we should do?
Fold.
No, look to your left. Look to your left.
All right, so I go back to this and I'm still trying to sort it. You look to the left, you want to understand if if they are interested and they're collecting it, call chips.
Call chips or raise chips. Sometimes they'll tell you.
Okay, and I think that's important, and I need to integrate it into my game more.
Right. So that's the one thing Scotty did right on this hand. Now, Mike is going to just fold here. Even if they've already mucked their hands, he's saying that this hand is a fold. Ignorant end of a gut shot. When one of the ends comes in, no, sorry, just gut shot. When the 6 comes in for your gut shot, it brings in a 7-10, which this guy could have. And easily the 7-10 can call this. So the 7-10 can be there. Player 7 doesn't have a lot of 7-10. Player 9 probably doesn't have 7-10, but either of these guys can have 7-10. Okay? So that's a problem. And it's just a gut shot. You have backdoor spades and they're bad spades, and that's all you got. And the 10 jack is already out there. So just everybody folds. All right. Good enough. So the thing I did correctly was look to my left. The thing I did wrong was not fold when I looked to my left and saw no obvious raises. But what I did get right was this, when I called that they were going to do that. But that's what they were in the mind of doing.
Interesting.
If
One
they're gonna-
time dealer.
Oh no, that's the problem.
Oh no.
Scotty's going to make another mistake.
Yeah, you don't want to turn it. I don't think.
Got it. Why do I not want to turn it?
Oh, I don't know. You're still like not super crazy about this.
Somebody has Jack 10.
We've got multiple draws. You got Jack 10. Yeah, I can understand.
All right.
Well,
Nobody has nobody has Jack 10.
I like the
Maybe.
raise because didn't we talk about this last week? I think Larry, it was last week about how when people donk in, well, it's not a raised pot, so I
It's
guess
not a donk.
technically it's
Yeah.
not the same.
Donk. Yeah, it's not the same.
And also it's multi-way.
Yeah.
If someone's dunking multi-way, it increases the value of their hand.
Yeah.
Perceived value.
All right. So he checks, and let's see. I'm going to ask who has not.
So you're not concerned about Jack 10 here. Why are you not concerned about Jack 10?
Some of the Jack 10s have raised already.
All right.
Not all of them. Some of them have. Okay. So Zhao is just betting out right now. And Zhao, put in your size and put it in dollars, please. And I'm going to ask, as I look over here, who's here, I'm going to ask Mike, who hates this the most. Mike, what do you want to do now after I make this mistake?
Oh, now I would bet, and I would be folding probably. Well, of course it would depend on the action behind me, but yeah, I think you have to bet now.
All right. What size would you like to bet?
I would probably go. This looks like a B 50-ish.
So
Yeah,
75.
and sizing up would be B75. That would be getting big. I don't know. I wouldn't know what the right size would be here. Probably. I don't want to go too small, and then at the same time, I don't want to go too big.
So you're thinking 75 to 100?
Yes.
Okay. Mike is 75 to 100. Brian is 75. Ashwin is 225. John is 115. So everybody's betting here. Nobody's checking here. Everybody's just saying, I'm the second guy. I'm the guy who has a hand. None of you guys. Dean,
Is there any value to checking here, seeing the action behind, and then
Yeah.
evaluating a check raise?
Yeah.
here's okay.
Like
Go on.
that, Ralph.
Mike,
The
you had a
only
response
problem
to
I
that?
have with it is I think you're relying on them to bet.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
but
look at
you
their
do
action.
pass that you know you're
Multi-way.
good.
Who's betting?
I mean, I think it's only
Yeah, but
value
then
when
you don't get to deny any equity, and there's so much bad stuff that can come.
Yeah, and
A
then
step.
then we do allow the
Diamond,
free
a
card to the
10,
diamonds and a
a-
free card for the eights
a
and
jack.
the tens and jacks. All right. I see your point.
So what
I hate everything.
good. Thank you. We have the second nut and I hate everything. Third nut. We have the third nut and I hate everything. And I hate everything
Exactly.
because I looked at it and I said, this is going to go check, check, check. It's just going to go check, check, check. None of these guys have shown any strength. A bet, and by the way, notice it's the bet size, so it's a 40% bet. Then the second person to act calls the strongest calling position there is, and everybody calls behind it. This guy checks. Everybody's going to check behind and just try to take their equity. That's what's going to happen. I have to bet, and basically I'm turning my hand face up. I have to go, no, I got it.
I've got it. Everyone fold for me, please.
I bet 60. You all have nothing.
How did you decide on 60?
Because I decided that everybody was fucking weak.
20, Scotty.
But you're
And-
so vulnerable, right?
I know.
That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're weak.
I know.
They're singleton jack, they're singleton 10.
Because vulnerability was how I got laid in high school.
You don't
That's
want
why.
any. You don't want a diamond. You don't want a 10. You don't want a jack.
I know.
You don't want.
I know.
What do you want?
I want $60.
I think. Like.
Right.
Uh,
And I'll show, but here's the interesting, here is an interesting thing about it, which is I agree with all of what you guys are saying.
You're betting
Nobody-
small because you're afraid
What am I betting
that
small for?
they'll all fold and they won't give you
No.
$60. Is that
No.
What are
that-
they? And
This is my thought process. I'm not saying it's right, but this is what it was. I made the joke about it, but it really was this. I've decided the initial better is weak because he bet out when everybody called, he called. When nobody raised, and also in the tenor of in the just emotional feel of their calls, that they were, well, I guess so, the sort of guess sowing that went on, they're all weak. Nobody here is going to call a bet of 100 or something like that. Yes, it denies equity, but no one's going to call it. And I want to get, and I have a straight. I want to get value. I want to charge a flush. Is a flush mathematically are they getting the right express odds to call this bet? No, they're not. A flush draw is getting the wrong express odds. Are they getting the right implied odds? They are, which is why if the diamond comes in, I have to not lose more money. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Now, is that enough to think? I don't think so, because I think that I've got to look at how bad a 7 is, how bad a 10 is, how bad a jack is, and how bad a diamond is. But I don't have to worry about a pair. Nobody's got 2 pair. So Jean says, let's see, paired board is terrible. I disagree. I see why a paired board would be terrible, but for a paired board to be bad, someone has to have 2 pair or a set already. And this action does not look like anyone has 2 pair, or it's this followed by this does not make me believe that anyone has 2 pair.
Okay.
there's only
I
really
think
one
convinced
that
me.
comes in.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
8-6
Two pair
comes in.
could still be out there. Those players behind you I don't think they're uncapped at 2 pair here because first guy bets the flop and you get a bunch of calls, right? Then he checks, then you come out and lead. I'm not raising 2 pair if I'm any of those other 3 players.
No, I meant on the flop. I was wrong. The thing I think the thing you're pointing out and that Jean pointed out in the chat, he said 6-8, 6-9, and 8-9 are all 2 pairs. And yes, you're right. Those are all out there.
Yeah, okay.
Right. What I meant was I don't think queen 9 or queen 8 or 8-9 is here as of this
Yep.
moment.
Yeah,
No
we'll
one
agree
has
with that.
queen. That's when I say
I'll
no one
agree
has
with
queen
that.
9, queen
Yep.
8. But you're right. The pairs off the 6s exist.
I mean, I still think it was a pretty dry board. I mean, there's Jack
Queen my
10, but
favorite.
otherwise it's somewhat dry. I could see a lot of just calling with your 2 pair.
I think, Scotty, the reason I decided, I mean, I was the only guy who was doing like an overbet over
Mhm.
there. We've got
Good for
relative
you.
nut. Yeah, we've got relative nuts but a lot of scare cards on the river. And let's say if you do the 70 and then if you face a bet of let's say 100 20. You can't fold a straight there. So what I'm actually doing there with that overbet is that I'm front loading my equity, and
Excellent point.
then depends upon whatever happens on the river, I can reevaluate. If the river's, let's say, and like a low spade, I continue taking more value out of people. So maybe those two pairs, then there's only one hand, which is Jack 10, that beats me. And if he's got Jack 10, then I'll have to.
And
I may
7-10,
have.
but yeah, 7-10 is.
And
7-10
7-10,
is-
sorry, and
yeah.
7-10.
But
and
yes,
7-10.
but same point. Your point is correct.
And if he's got 8-9, if he's got Queen 9, if he's got Queen 10, maybe he still pays me off with a reasonable bet.
Right.
And if, let's say, the diamond gets there, which I'm not blocking, if I'm still happy to just check back in position, depending upon who's calling my overbet.
Yeah. So you
Then
overbet, if you overbet here and get called, and then the river is a 5, you're not that worried, but fact is he's not putting in more money. So you've got to get him. It's not just that your hand gets worse, your opponent's hand gets worse on a lot of these cards. And so there's no money to be made on the river. So you want to overload your turn bet. Is that what you're saying, among other things?
Yes, I am loading value here. So
That's smart.
let's assume that he's going ahead and he's playing Queen 10. Let's say, given the best hand, let's say he's
Right.
got Queen 10 of diamonds. Can he fold to my overbet? I
Mhm.
don't think so. But if he
Okay.
bricks river, and then he's not paying me a lot.
Right.
There will be
Jo-
some. Sorry.
Go on. Go on.
And sometimes when you overbet these spaces, if he has a set and if he bricks that river, I mean, he's going to. I mean, if he calls my river, if he calls my turn overbet, then it's very easy for me to evaluate if the river connects with him or no.
Mhm.
And if
Yeah.
I think that's the idea of the overbet. In fact, I'm almost happy to even get folds there, or maybe I'll try to make all the value from one person instead of making
Yes.
small amounts of value with many people.
I think
If
that's
that makes any kind of sense, yeah.
No, that makes total sense. I think that's almost always better also. The same amount of value from one person is much better than that value distributed amongst multiple people, because multiple people have more equity against you than one person.
Yeah, so
That's
that's
really
what I think the overbet was trying to achieve. I mean, there's no way we can
Yeah.
check this in a solver, but I think 7-5 would do some amount of overbetting if it's, let's say, a heads up spot.
Okay. Going back, let me say something that Jean said before anybody else comes in. That is, if you check, it means the board pairs on the river is scary, but I don't. Okay, here it goes. Number one rule of thumb in theory is never overbet multi-way when you don't have a blocker to the nuts. So 7-10 can overbet here because it blocks 10 jack, but 5-7 can't. Not because 7-10 beats it, but because 7-10 reduces the chances of them having the 10 jack, is the point that he was making. That is a rule of thumb I've never heard before.
But 7-5 blocks 7-10.
7-5 blocks 7-10, but
Not Jack
it's
10.
nuts. That's the
Okay.
important thing. And that's the one that we wanted to block. So that was what he was saying. And so John says, so 7-10 overbetting would be nice. All right, there we go. That's another thing to think about. Brian says, I think you can get more value by betting like 150 and still get calls from a top pair on the river. Zhao says, yes, but 10 jack is the nuts. We got this. You need to block the nuts. We talked about this. I think the overget kills more value than it generates. In this particular case, 60 killed all the value. And then here is, Jean says I do a lot of, is a huge strategy in my gameplay. When this happened, the initial guy here, I bet 60, it goes fold. The last guy shows his hand, what he folded. And it is ace 9.
Good fold.
He bet second pair into 5 players or 4 players or something like this, which I think is not his best decision. But he didn't pay off $60 that after getting all these calls, he concluded. A queen has to be out there, at least. I'm one who could easily have the queen. And when I bet into multiple players, all of whom called, I can't have less than a queen here, is what he said. And he's right. So he got that information for $20. Maybe he
bet.
played well. Maybe he played it well. Maybe. I still
Scotty,
think-
one idea here. We've got our brand spanking new live player, Brian,
Yes.
who is he said this on before, so he's thinking about making a career out of it. So it might make sense at least for time for him to have some hands at the end.
It's on.
Absolutely. Let me see.
I
I can stop right now. By the way, I think I have 3 hands left. So let's
I
absolutely. Sure.
might have quit my job to play poker full
Oh
time.
boy.
Dude, the dude's crazy, man.
You want to
So
switch over to Brian and finish these tomorrow?
it's up to you, man. You're the
We
I'm
can
not
do
gonna say
whatever.
the A word, but
Well, here's the question. Brian, are you going to be here tomorrow? And more importantly, Brian, are you going to be here Friday?
I should be here every day this week.
All right, awesome. So in that case, I'm going to finish off because there's a really good chance that that you're going to do Friday and I'm going to be on a plane.
okay, no worries.
So I'll
There
finish.
is.
And
I was
then,
gonna say there was a couple of hands that I did want to. Definitely wanted to have everyone's insight on, but it's
Yeah.
no big deal. I'm sure we'll have a full class.
okay. Well, tomorrow I'm here. We can, tomorrow I'm definitely here. So we'll do, no, I'm not. Tomorrow I'm in and out tomorrow. I just realized that.
All right, that's no worries. Finish your hands, yeah, and then
Okay,
Brian, we'll
fine.
start with you tomorrow.
Yes. Thank you, Larry.
Sounds good.
As you make the perhaps
Yeah.
unfortunate choice, or hope maybe very fortunate to choose to go pro.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll see.
We will be interested in the hero's journey.
Hey, I'm young and got minimal expenses, so now's the
There you
time to
go.
try.
Here we go. That's what I did with street performance.
Young, dumb, and full of bankroll.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Under the gun raise and a call. Under the gun raise oversized. Oh, this is the thing. Why? What happened here? So, seat 1 is here. He loads up calling chips. And so he shows that he's going to limp. Seat 2 shows he's going to limp. Seat 1 has not yet acted. Seat 2 literally shows this to seat 1. Like makes it a point, like, let's limp, come on, let's do it. I'm limping, it's safe. And seat 1 absolutely sees this and raises to 60.
The seat 1 in the small blind. Well, I don't know where seat 1 is. Where's dealer?
Dealer is here. Seat 1 is here. I'm in seat 9.
Okay, got it. So
This is
dealer,
seat 1.
the real dealer is between you two.
The real dealer is here. Player 9 is the dealer. This is seat 1. I'm in seat 9. So let's call it another way. Under the gun, low jack -2, whatever you want to call him. This guy here, he sees that the next guy to act, low jack -1, is going to call.
Got it.
So he is now doing a pre-ISO. So he pre-ISOs to 60.
Got it.
And this guy goes, okay, my hand was good enough to play. I'm still playing it for 60. So if your hand is good enough to play it for 60, why were you not raising? Let's not get into that argument with him. He's not here, but that's what happens. So that's the action before it gets to me.
This is weird. This
Then
is
these guys.
so you've got an implied odds hand now.
It does.
Mm.
I don't know, man.
I have a dominated implied odds hand. I have a hand that could squeeze in a normal situation. Should it squeeze against under the gun
Mm.
in the inflated pot?
As much as I love the squeeze, I think you gotta. Mad because they're folding.
Look at how
I
much
don't even
money
like
he's
a
got
call.
left. Look at how much
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
that's
left.
important.
Like that.
I mean,
He's
getting
folding.
this in, having him shove over you is a nightmare.
I almost feel like this is borderline just even continuing. Like this could be a fold. As weird as that sounds.
I know.
I know. I thought I'd never say that in my life.
But
No.
gents, the one thing I'm thinking about here is what do we know about applied odds when we think heads up relative to multi-way?
More implied odds multi-way.
Yeah.
And
And
Just
all
so
the guys are not
players.
we
short.
classify this hand now as multi, but then the big RFI, when normal RFIs are 30, I think you say?
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
man,
look
I
at
don't,
the
this is a
short
weird
stack
one.
there.
You know, if, I mean, we can't in the magic 10% big RFI,
Ye-
GTO wizard ranges, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I think here's what I was thinking. So if all these players that you're seeing in this pot right now
Mhm.
were all freaking solid ass players, I think you fold this. But I
Agreed.
think it kicks
Agreed.
it up when you have these other players here who we know aren't solid ass players.
Right.
In fact, we kind of even put them in weak player buckets.
Yes.
Then it kicks it into a profitable continue.
Yes.
And I think it's just a call.
Yeah.
But
I would say that we can make the conclusion that this guy here, the second guy to act, is not only not just a solid ass player, he's actually missing his ass. He's had his ass removed. Because he said, I want to limp this hand. And then the guy said 60, goes, well, I still am playing the hand. So he has a hand that he thinks is worth anywhere from $10 to $60. And that is a crazy thing to think about a hand.
Agreed.
Okay. We can assume that the guy on the button is either unstudied or way overstudied compared to us, because there are no third third calls. He's in razor fold territory, right?
yeah, right.
So when it goes raise, call, forget about the extra sizing. He doesn't have any calls, even on the button.
I
And he doesn't
think
know
he
that.
does. He
So-
does he not? How does he play eights there?
Say that again.
GTO, he
Eights or
doesn't
nines?
have any calls.
Yeah, GTO has a feature that after two callers, there's just no more calling. If your hand is not good
Okay.
enough to raise, you fold it.
Okay.
Okay. This falls into Derek's squeeze bucket.
Is this a hoping to flip for stacks kind of thing?
Yep. Yep. Let's flip for stacks here.
Okay.
I mean,
700. What's your
was
size?
this guy normally
size?
opening to
So
a normal size?
what?
He's normally opening to a reasonable size.
We didn't notice. Well, yeah, this is an unusual size, this 60. I don't have a note whether his size was
Fuck.
25 or 30. Sitting
I
here.
just
So,
fold. You're
we're
so
making it
dominant.
Let's see.
380 here.
Do a quick search here in here.
We're not making it 380 here?
No,
Like,
I'm not. I'm asking. I'm just doing this right
If it's
now.
not right for button to call, then it's definitely not right for us to call.
We're closing the action. Okay, so if it's the same seat one, he's passive. Let's see. Let's see if the seat one has changed. Seat one is passive. Seat one is not loose. He left. This is a new seat one. Oh, this is D. Okay, this is D. We know this guy. This guy has a limping range. This guy believes in luck.
Well, then tell him he's out of luck because he ran into aces. Make it 380.
I don't think he's folding for 680.
Well, then we
I
get
think
to
you're,
flip for
I think you're
stacks.
going to flip. I think you're going to flip with him if you go big. But the size you want to go here is, let's just get this here. We want to go 240, 300, 360, 420. And you want to take the 420 down to 380. Okay, I'm okay with that.
So that he shoves in and then
Might as well
we're
just-
flipping for stacks.
All right, okay. Now, let's do something smart here though, for that. Let's make sure that his raise is enough to allow us to reopen the action so we can threaten these
Yeah.
guys that we're doing.
That was the
jam over.
idea. Right?
We're not
And
gonna
so-
jam over them, but let's make sure that they know that we can. So that is, he's got
340 more?
he's got 520, he's got 680 more. Therefore, we have to do, we have to not go more than 340 more than
340.
60.
340?
So we can still go to 380. We can go to, we can go right to 400 and he can still reopen the action. Because 400 is a raise to 340. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
no, that's not right.
You
That's
know,
not
you
right.
gotta do.
Do the math right. It's the amount
380
of money
would
left.
be,
You don't want them to
380 would
reopen.
would leave 320. back, right?
No,
Why do
Mike,
we want him to reopen?
because if we raise, the action is open to all of these. We've reopened the action to all of these guys, right? We want to threaten these guys that, by the way, you're
We're
not
threatening
playing
to
for
shove the
700.
rest of it in.
You
Yeah.
might be playing for 1400 pre-flop. We want them to know that if they know.
I see. Okay.
I mean,
Because
do you,
our raise we've already reopened the action against these
Okay.
guys.
I
Anyone of
mean,
these
yeah,
guys-
okay, I get that. I guess my point is, I mean, we're still going to be playing for 75 big blinds against this under the gun raise. We don't want that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I was just saying if we're going to raise. I didn't raise, by the way.
No, I know. I'm just
I
trying to
called.
figure out why we wanted to try to reopen, but yeah.
I was gonna say, honestly, call seems to make more sense here.
And what about a fold?
A fold is even reasonable. I mean, when they were
I
open
think
that big,
I think the fold is criminal.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
the fold is criminal. I think you can't fold here.
Okay.
I think you can. I don't know. It depends on the player. I don't know the player. You said you know this player?
This
So
is the first player. Well, we've
It depends on the players.
right.
Yeah.
1, seat 2, seat 3, seat 4, seat 5 is in there. Hmm.
Are they good? I know that the first two are bad.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the last two are bad as well, since they called.
Let's see. Let me see in the notes in this if we have the absolute thing where this
I mean, like
was.
this. If this is old man coffee in my game, I'm folding the shit out of this hand.
Okay.
Is it an old man coffee? I thought it was a guy
That's
that
No,
is
it's not.
betting it because
He's not an
the
old
other
man.
it's
guy,
a lucky guy.
the other guy
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, he believes in luck.
I
We
mean,
do not have, by the way, the fact that right now seat 5, who is the player who is quite good, is in this pot. We don't know that. My notes don't say it. It just says the number of people who called. So I put the calls
Okay.
in just random, the other calls.
Okay.
It just says, all it says is seat 2 called, then there are 2 calls, and then I'm the straddle. So I don't even know. I might, these could
I'm
be
gonna
irrelevant.
assume that the good player didn't call there.
Yeah, probably.
That's what I assumed.
So here's so I do the call. We get a 3, 4, 5. And the only note we have is that we fold the flop. It comes, here we go. That we flowed the flop to big action on 3, 4, 5. So I made up the action that it was a bet and a raise and a call, or whatever it was.
Okay.
Just there was some big action and we folded and we got to see
Yep.
what the hands were. This guy had 7, 7 and I made up these hands. I made up the other hands. Oh no, we did see this guy. Seat 6 was 5. We saw he had a 5, 6 and I think it was offsuit. We did see this.
the fuck.
This could have been 5, 6 suited for all we know. And when I did this, the other note is this. When this guy did his raise and it came to me here, I didn't notice when a time came that he only had, that he started the hand with $740. I made my
Okay.
decision based on this action, then I noticed it. Having
How do you
noticed
feel about
wouldn't
just
change anything.
just jamming here?
Yeah, I think if you were going to raise, I think jam is what you do.
So
I
just
think
tell
you should
people, tell
don't
all
give
the
any.
people we're not good.
Yeah, I
And they
don't
go-
think you
go heads
want
up
to give a
again.
shot for anybody else to get in this pot,
The
other
only
than
the only problem is like I put in chat, like you see him over limping hands like ace king, ace queen, and queens, and like I've even heard like they over limp pocket kings because they don't 3-bet.
that.
That's the
Yeah,
only
that consolidates his range to aces.
That's gonna be less true in my game.
Yeah,
We saw an ace king off, but we haven't,
that's the thing is when he normally opens. Did you ever see him open to like 30 with aces, kings, queens, stuff like that?
sure. I think his raise, I think
Then
that 60
I
was
think
not
I
based
think
on
you can
hand
just
strength.
jam
Yeah.
if
I think
you've
it's
seen
just-
that because it doesn't contain his strongest hands. Then
No. I'm not saying that. I've seen him.
oh,
I believe that this 60 is not based on his hand strength. I think it's based on the fact that he's doing a pre-ISO. He knows this guy is saying I'm calling. So his 30 doesn't do what he wants. If he wants to charge him more since you're willing to call, or he wants to knock him out with ace king, whatever it is. I don't have that read on him at all. You
just
see the
weird.
difference?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what made it a weird hand. Okay,
So I have a question. Do you guys
Yes.
think that I shove it all in too much?
That you do?
Yeah, because I noticed that I'm jamming a lot more than other people.
I don't know. I like the aggressive route. I generally respect it. I'm pretty aggressive, but I think I need to be more aggressive.
Because I want to walk home with like $4,000 from the 1-3 game. So
yeah.
I
Jamming
mean,
will help you do that.
I'm happy to flip for stacks.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a play that I need to find more, and I would like to work with you on that then and see where you're finding a lot of your jams because I think that a lot of the time I'm not getting as much value for my hands sometimes that I need to,
Well,
and
Derek, were
that
you jamming this?
I'm not bluffing large enough sometimes.
Like my player pool doesn't fold enough, right? So that
Right.
I can bet a lot on very thin. Like they'll call too much.
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing? What were you doing with this hand here in this situation?
I think I said 320, 340.
Right. So you
somewhere
weren't jamming this, but you were raising this. You were raising this with the intent to either go heads up against this guy or play a king
Threaten
suited
to-
out of position in a
to play
massive.
for stacks with
Yeah, right, in a massive
everyone
pot.
else.
Well, you know, one thing I didn't think about whenever we were doing this is that I like the call way more now because you block all like almost all of his hands that are gonna have reversed his main hand that's gonna have reversed implied odds against your hand when you
king.
do make it when you do make the flush. Like I mean, you block ace king and ace queen, which are the most likely hands that he's gonna have that would cooler you when you do hit the flush. So honestly, I'm starting to like the call way more.
Okay. All right. This hand. All right. So we have queen 10. We are in low jack -1. What should we do?
Did you notice all the other players already giving you fold tells?
Yep. That's the
Okay.
one. This hand. What should we do with queen 10? What should we do with this queen 10 in this position?
Fold it.
Fold it. Easy fold.
Yeah.
But before we fold it, what should we do?
Look at the players to our
Look
left.
left. Look left. And I did. And this was the time that I saw fold, fold, and a third one. There might have even been a third fold tell. Let's see.
If
So
you had
now
two,
we're in
if
the
you had two
hijack.
clear
we
folds, then
got
it's
it.
probably fine.
Yeah. We saw two fold tells there, which moves us to the hijack. What does
Is
the
that-
hijack like to do with queen 10?
Is that good in a 3-blind structure? I'd probably fold it, but
I think it folds.
It mixes in the 2-blind structure. I don't know what it does in the 3-blind structure. And then I thought for a second going, I also look stronger because I'm opening it from here because nobody else knows that I've seen this.
yeah.
So we open.
God, he's leveling.
Tells are reliable.
Crushing.
Nice. There we go. That's nice.
In position. There we go. Ooh,
That's
check.
about as dry.
See that on the big side.
Okay.
See, we're at the 50.
Nice.
Did you see this video? Don't bet 66% of the pot.
This is the Hungry Horse video. Or a different one?
I saw it by someone else.
Okay. Then may not have seen that one.
What's the theory behind it?
Let me just put that in the message.
The Hungry Horse one is go bigger. Let's see
Yeah,
if
he plays a in position. He plays an in position big better check, right?
only no
Or is
on
that out of
ace
position?
high boards. Only on
Oh,
ace high.
ace high. Okay.
In position, he bets in position single raise pot. Bet a size that makes them raise their strong shit and call with their weak shit, usually about half pot.
Okay. And then
Words of Hunger. Wow, that's not loading. Okay.
and he just checks a ton out of position.
Yes, checks range in a lot of situations. All right. So this seems like one of the hands you can bluff here.
Yeah.
Wraps around the jack. It seems fine.
Mhm.
Has a queen of clubs. That seems
We have a
that's
backdoor straight draw.
yeah. We've got all the backdoor
And
things and
one
over. It's got 3 things.
Yeah. I'm happy to bet it.
Yep. I chose not to. I don't know why. Let's see if there was any notes as to why.
It's so dry.
Oh, here's why.
man.
Here's why. I know. I'm gonna say it says check. It doesn't say why. When I reviewed this hand, I was wondering, why didn't I bet this? I don't know why. I
Check,
didn't.
check's fine.
Oh, now we
Nice.
definitely bet it.
Wait a minute. Oh, now we're definitely betting.
We're definitely betting.
But here's the weird thing. I check, he checks. It looked like he thought about betting first. Like he thought that this card was worth betting on and then decided to check. Does that
So then we bet.
change? Does
So then
that
we
change
bet.
whether you want to bet?
No.
It's
Oh,
still
we-
bet. It seems
we-
like he was considering bluffing at it and then didn't.
Yeah, we have to bet it.
Yeah, makes me want to bet more.
Not
Okay.
betting is a mistake.
Okay, so let's go each one. So Brian, tell me your thoughts when you see it. You thought that it
So
meant to bluff?
I'm trying to hide this, but a lot of the time when I think about my good hands, whether I want to raise here for value, what size I want to do. I also think about, is this a good spot that I want to start constructing a bluff in?
Right.
So, and a lot of the time, it's more weighted towards bluffs. So I'm gonna bet into him now, because I mean, you have one. If he did hit a king or a jack or whatever the hell it is, you still have decent amount of outs to make some money on him. And two, if he was considering betting, you put it to bluff, you bet now, and he folds out his bullshit and you win the pot.
Right, without hitting anything. Okay, good. Derek, you were saying your reason for betting, if it's different, say more?
I think that this is a mandatory bet all the time.
Okay,
That's all.
right.
And
So
since it's a mandatory bet, you bet small and frequently. And since it's
Okay.
100% time, you bet small.
Okay,
And it's a good card for you either way.
yeah. And
So
Mike,
let's bet 40%
Okay.
pot or 30% pot. Anyway, we're
Yeah.
betting small and frequently.
Gotcha.
And we're betting all the time.
Right, so you were just you bet range here, so you bet small and frequently, and my hand doesn't matter. Okay, got it. And Mike, your point was?
His like kind of fake or thinking about betting and then he doesn't, made me kind of want to bet this more now. But
Okay, tell me why.
it seems like this is a really great card to scare whatever it is he was thinking about betting and then deciding not to. That's just my thought. It's probably irrelevant, but I
Okay.
would bet here for sure, and it'd be like B50 to B75.
Okay.
More on the larger size than what Derek was considering.
So his
Oh.
note,
What
my
about
note here was not that he did the like pick up chips threateningly, look at me and then go check. Like he's
No,
trying to tell me this.
right. I didn't take that from you. I
Right,
took it as
yeah.
like it looked like he might have thought about like,
Betting.
no, I'm not going to.
Anything
Yeah,
else you
check.
need?
So I expected to get called at a minimum.
Okay.
And when I thought that I was going to get called,
I bought a couple things of it when it was 88 cents at the food. bank
okay,
place.
Derek is talking about something else. I'm muting. There we go. Derek has been muted. So my thought was I was betting this card 100%. Then when he thought about betting, my thought was one of the reasons I'm betting this card is because he's going to fold. He's going to fold a bunch of hands that miss, but that have equity and things. He's not going to fold. When I bet, he's going to call. I have a draw. When I bet, he's going to call. Should I just try to make my draw? And then I said, no. I said, no, I'm going to bet anyway, but I wasn't sure why in my thought process.
I think you should bet bigger here.
So Derek was betting smaller. This is about the size that, this is close to the size that Mike bet. You want to bet bigger. Good
I
enough.
want to bet bigger because
Okay, how big?
I would bet pot
Okay.
probably 75.
All right,
And
sounds,
then now, like on the river, when I miss, I can really unload more, and it seems a little bit more reasonable than it does in me betting super tiny and then firing off a giant bet on the river.
gotcha. So this isn't super tiny. It's still
Yeah,
75, it's still 66% pot.
I'm just thinking like relative, like actual money. What is it? What is
Money.
the word you use?
Okay,
Actual,
okay, gotcha.
actual
Absolute.
size, absolute size.
Okay, so bet 75 bucks here. And then if I need to bluff the river and I decide to do it, go 300 and something like this and get him to fold a jack.
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was looking for jack to call, I'd bet like 120 on the river to get to jack to call. And if I was
Okay.
looking, so I'd bet bigger than 120, that's for sure. Probably closer to 250, 300.
Right, sounds good. Okay, that makes sense to me. And my review thought was that given that he wanted to bet, I should be thinking very seriously about this. This is going to have to be a 2-street bluff because he's going to call this.
Mhm.
I'm setting this up for a 2-street bluff if I need to. Dean, club river? You mean like the 8 of clubs, Dean? Do you mean like that? All right. Great. 8 of clubs. I think we don't have to bluff. This is great, isn't it?
It's more fun when you get to bluff.
Then
Oh
this
shit.
happens.
Okay. So he's got. This is the spot I just ran into. It
I
fucking
know.
sucks.
I know.
So I don't know to
Never
raise or
fold. We're
not.
not folding. We're not
We're never.
considering.
Yeah,
Not
I just don't know
considering.
to raise because
Are we
every
raising?
single time this happens to me, I know it's a flush. I just don't know how strong of a flush.
Exactly.
So you have to decide how you would deal with a re-raise shove, and the answer is fold.
Fold.
So then I like the excuse here that allows us to overbet, clarifying his range.
Okay. Dean's
I
going
think
for
you.
300.
I
Yeah,
raised
300, and then his range, if he shoves over 300, he's much more devoid of bluffs, and more importantly, he's not overvaluing the jack of clubs or the 10 of clubs. So
Yeah. No, he's not. Okay. So that Larry is 300 and fold to a 3-bet. Anybody else?
Mm.
I actually think that's perfect.
I think you have to go for value here.
I was just in the call camp. That's maybe too weak.
I don't think you can
No,
call.
Mike, the call is perfect. The perfect.
Ugh.
That's the way the greatest players in the world play it. The greatest chicken shit players who don't want to get value from the jack of clubs. That's how they play it.
You've got
Oh.
to.
I don't know that you do,
You've got
though.
to. You've got to
Oh.
see this for what it is. It's
I
what
know.
it looks like the majority of the time, and you've got to do it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know
know,
what
man.
Sam would say too. Whenever that guy bets 50 into 200 after you raised into him on the flop, he's going to go bigger with his ace of clubs than he is with his jack of clubs.
Yes.
But Mike, I mean, you got to give him inducing. You got to give him an inducing strat, right? Essentially, you're saying he's now inducing.
So he goes 15 to 172. Yeah, you're right. It's
It's
that's
too
right.
weak.
I
I
mean,
think he.
you are
I'm just-
teasing at joining the call to Bart Hansen.
He's 50
And-
to 122, not 172.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Just-
gotta.
I guess I just didn't have faith that if you did raise, that they would call with
Oh, no,
anything
it is 172.
other than the ace of clubs.
It's
Yeah,
170.
yeah, that's valid. That's valid. But you gotta go. You gotta go for it here. I think only with not second nuts, but I think you got to. You got to here.
Not with the 10.
Yeah.
No, only not second nuts.
I'm
Yeah, because the
following
jack,
you.
because he could have the queen. This would be an easy thing for him to do with
I
the queen.
mean,
I'm smelling what you're farting. I got you.
I agree. I agree. I am the worst player in the world, and the only thing I feel good about is Mike is as bad as me.
but the
That's
question
scary.
is size. Like I think, yeah, I think
Size. Okay, let's go for it.
Well, yeah, good point. Because what if he pots it here? Then I
Oh,
guess
then
we
pots
call.
it, you
That's easy.
just
call.
call. But now I'm like, gosh, now can we consider folding?
Well, I don't think
I
pot.
don't think you can consider folding, but you
I'm
can
not
call.
folding. Even if he pots, I think I'm gonna raise. Just because, at least in this game, when you're putting 1,500 out, $100 is not that much. It's about 100, 120. So like an absolute value, at least from what I'm trying to figure out with live and starting playing live, is the absolute value matters 20 times more than what the size of the. They don't even know what the fucking size of the pot is 90% of the time. They're
Brian,
just throwing money.
what game are you playing in right now? What's the size of the
It
game?
is. It's 1-2, and they have no fucking clue what the size of the pot is. They just throw money at it.
Yes.
And if they like their hand, they're like, oh, $100, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck. But if they don't like their hand, I mean, even $50 in that game is a pretty big bet, and I
Yep.
know that they like their hand a lot.
So clearly there is a line where you would fold the second nuts here. If he all of a sudden this river comes and he puts in 400.
I think
Yeah.
it's about folding it. Brian,
Okay, you can
Where is
fold
that
it.
line at? Is it at 300? Is it at 2x pot? What is it?
I think I can fold in this game to
Correct.
300, 400.
but definitely not pot. Definitely not pot. Brian, in your game, so I agree with you. That is a very good adjustment you're making in that game, and that adjustment is you're going to have to start unmaking it to some extent when you move up to a 5-10.
Mm-hmm.
In not all 5-10 players, But in 5-10, there exists a population of players who are thinking about the relative size of the bet. In 1-2, they are less likely. And they're also absolute sizers in 5-10.
Mhm.
Saying that is a very good exploit that you're using, and it's not the best exploit for this game that we're looking at.
That's
Not the best.
that's true.
But with this, with our queen, if he goes pot, I'm calling. I'm never raising a pot size bet. If he goes 2x pot, I'm thinking about it. I'm considering folding to 2x and bigger. At 150, I'm just calling. And to this 50, I should be raising to a size that I feel confident gets called by jack of clubs and 10 of clubs. And that size is
200
310.
minimum.
200.
310? Okay.
Yeah. 300, he could start folding the 10 of clubs, even the jack of clubs.
Mm.
Because remember, the next club down is the 9 of clubs, and that club is folding to folding to most raises. So it's the jack and the 10. And so the 300, Larry's 300 with this. Do you still like 300, Larry?
Yeah,
In your
I like 300, and again, I'm kind of stuck on this clarify the range. It's very hard for them to raise with anything except the nuts.
Right. Okay. So you think that you're going to get, so really roughly, how many jack of clubs percent wise are going to call your raise to 300 here?
And that's valid. So obviously it's a push and pull here.
Yeah, it is.
You are giving up some calls, but then that's recompensated by the people who do call with the jack of clubs.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have the additional bonus of essentially eliminating many of their re-raise bluffs and their bluffs with their re-raises with anything but the nuts.
Right.
So I think the fact that it's more profitable getting that call, and probably it's more profitable even though we're gonna get called less, I think that gets me to making it bigger.
Gotcha. So give me a guess of what so we all think jack of clubs calls a raise to 100 here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So give me an estimate of what you think the jack of clubs to 150 and the jack of clubs to 300 is. Just make an estimate of it.
Now, okay. It's very player dependent, but I mean, some people think some people just go on and
Against your
on
pool. Against your pool.
at low skilled players being inelastic to sizing, right?
Okay.
But you're looking for an estimate. I would say, I mean, this is going to allow us to do a math problem, right?
Yeah.
I would say, let's go half. I think
Jack of clubs, 50% to 300 compared to 100% of 100. And we've normalized these numbers because what I mean by that is that if they really only call 350%, if they really only call 150, 50% of the time and 300, 25% of the time, it's the same math. So
yeah, but then, then we could do the math problem. What is our profit versus what is our,
and then
our less calls? Then we have a math equation.
Right, exactly. What do you think? And what do you think about the 10 of clubs?
Well,
Ratio of 10 of clubs calls.
All right, let's go conservatively. Let's say it's calling 25% of the time.
25% of the time to 300. And what percent of the time to 150 is the 10 of clubs calling?
The raise click to 100.
To 150.
150.
What percentage? 150.
What did I say with? I was 25% previously, right?
25% to $300.
10%.
Okay. Okay. 25 there. Wait a minute. No, you can't be 10. It can't be less than 25%. You said he's calling 25% to 300.
We're talking about the 10 of clubs now, not the jack of clubs,
Yeah, the
right?
10 of clubs. Oh, I'm sorry, I haven't, yes, 10 of clubs. So the jack of clubs calls half the time when you bet 300 and 100% of the time when you bet 150. And the
That
10
would
of
be
clubs calls 25% of the time when you bet 300 and what percentage when you call bet 150?
10%.
No, he can't be. He can't call 25% to a $300 bet and only 10% to a 150 bet.
All right, I mixed, let's revert, no, I'm sorry, let's reverse those numbers.
10% to 300 and 25% to 150, right?
Yes.
Okay, in this case, with these numbers, the 150 bet is slightly more profitable against this, but we're gonna get in Mike's point in a second. I'm just saying, with these numbers, it's slightly more profitable to do the 150.
And it should be more profitable too, because when you do get snapped over the top, you lose less money.
Right. Now, he says, weigh the risk of getting re-raised with both the ace of clubs and an overvalued other flush. So I believe in this player pool that you do not need to worry about about the raise bluff to here, the bet, raise, re-raise bluff, because it is so easy for me to have the ace of clubs here.
Yep.
It's easy for me to play this thing with the ace of clubs here exactly like this.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, yeah, you would have checked the flop with the ace.
That's why I think
Bet the turn.
that's why I think this guy, that for the sizing, that's why I think we don't need to worry about the raise bluff. And even when he's got his jack of clubs, which is the best one he can, he bets and gets raised. I don't think he's jamming. I don't think he's going over the top of this for value with a jack of clubs.
No, yeah, probably not.
So I think and Larry's thing,
So we just rule it out completely. Like there's,
I think so.
the
I think
chance
so.
is zero.
Right. And Larry wanted to reduce that chance by betting more, and I don't think he has to bet more. There is a chance in hell that a raise to 100, a click raise looks weak. But once you get to 150, once you go 3x his raise, that could be an ace of clubs trying, desperately trying to get value. And I think they see that. Okay. So I think that I think Mike and my play was the worst of them. And we talked about sizing. Okay, we'll finish this off. Here we go. We have 3 hands left. You want to do 3 hands now or stop?
I got one more. This your left hand?
We have 3 more in this.
I'm down for another hand. Take it from there.
Okay,
Good
I'm gonna
to
do
go.
them fast. I'm gonna do them faster because I'll have to go in 20 minutes. I have to go. So here we go. So we'll take less time. What happened here? A bunch of the soft players have left. The other table I look at, it doesn't look too great at a distance. It's time to recalibrate whether I should be here or go home.
How far in are you?
Hours.
6 or 2?
Don't know. No way to know from this. Oh, no, not 2. No, 6 hours at least.
Okay.
Pippi moved to seat 6 where his fold tell isn't helpful because of where he is relative to me. I don't get his fold tell comes so late that I don't get to use it anymore. But I don't want to move to seat 2 where it would be useful, which is where he moved out of, because now I'm getting closer and out of position to the guy who's better than me. So I just stay where I am. All right. We have Jack 10 in here. What happens? Why are we playing this hand? Okay. The hippie on the button open limps. We have Jack 10 in the big blind.
All right, complete.
Yeah, I think this is complete. Straddle checks. But before we complete, what should we do?
Look left.
Look left. And we don't see anything. I don't have a note about it. So we look left, we get this. There we go. We flop the nuts. That's good. What do you want to do?
Check with anticipation, check raising.
Exactly.
Especially on a rainbow texture.
Right. Exactly. And we are allowed to just bet out here if we want to. There's no
Sure.
razor. It's not a dunk, but let's do it. Check. Who do we want to bet most?
Good question.
This guy.
The next person.
We want this guy to bet.
Because
then
it's
this can happen.
stronger. Yeah, this is a clear check raise. Now the only
Alright.
question is sizing.
Right. What size you want to go?
My gut says 50. My hand's so fucking good, 50.
All right, 55.
Yeah,
Close enough.
60-ish, like bigger.
Yeah, I wanted smaller. We have a really heavy, our SPR is big, but our hand is so good at rainbow texture. I kind of want keep people in, but
Yeah. We have a hand that doesn't care how many opponents it has. How's that? Okay.
yeah, we're in a dream spot.
We get one.
We're in a better dream spot.
All right.
So your SPR is 10. He's a stronger range. However, his top pair now is not top pair anymore.
Mm-hmm.
If you are going to, I don't, so geometric is 2x pot.
Yeah.
Um, I, th- I don't, what is calling? What is
Two pair.
calling your check raise? All right, let's just,
And
I
nine.
think we target sets and we
9,
go
10, 8, 10.
sevens, eights, and nines. Mostly sevens and eights. I think we overbet. Your SPR allows for it. Geometric sizing, I would go B150 to 200 here.
All right. I
60.
go pot.
All right.
He folds. He thinks about it and he doesn't look at me. So bigger size is fine. There. Yep, there we go. The table broke. And now we get moved to the other table. This is going to be our last hand. Here we go.
Last hand declared.
Right. So, I'm sorry, last two hands. No, we just did it. No, here we go. All right, here we go. We have this one. As we go there. Okay. Another king, queen. We raise. Get a world of calls out of position. Flop. Good and bad both.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got check raise bluff, you found it.
We check. There's the 65.
65 into, so he big bets.
He big bets.
I don't mind either.
Mm-hmm. I
Although
think I prefer call.
a re-raise sucks balls.
Call.
Yep, never folding.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Fine. There's nothing about this that makes us want to donk, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's not. Well, in theory, it's you
Check,
don't have
check.
8-6.
He still can have an ace here.
Mhm.
Right.
He checks. All right. So how
Consider-
do we like that? So Solver uses small size here a lot against a capped range, I think. But
Yeah,
he also
against the-
has less. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was agreeing with you that capped range solver would, I think, also put showdown type hands into the blender here. So like solver's going to check back that ace a lot,
Yeah.
when they bet it, if they even bet it.
Yep.
But I think it, like you said, capped range, but at the same time, it's a capped range that like wants to see a showdown.
Yeah.
So I think you typically want to go big here.
Yeah. I think we're 100% target exactly an ace and we ignore every other hand that he could have bet.
So
We ignore his 10-9. We ignore his spade draws. Because they'll do what an ace does at least. And we just, what will an ace call?
So Bart Hansen talks about, I was listening to a podcast. He mentioned a golden rule of live poker. Golden rule of live poker is they call too much and they don't bluff enough. If they call too much, then we go big targeting stubborn ace X. And that to me is like 170.
I was thinking more like pot.
Yeah, I like pot.
Yeah, I think someplace between whatever number I give and pot.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, what else?
I went too small.
I think he either has air or he's
It
an
didn't
ace,
matter
so
because he folded his air. He
Yeah.
folded whatever it was.
Yeah. They call too much and they don't bluff enough.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. The table broke. This is our last hand to go. This is this and this
Just
hand.
to touch,
So-
you are opening the room tomorrow and then you're in and out?
Tomorrow, you'll, yes, I can open the room, but if I don't, you can get in. Check tonight, make sure that you can log in.
Okay,
So,
I
you should
probably
still be able
can't,
to-
frankly.
Can or can't?
Cannot, because I am logged out. It would, in fact,
So,
I can tell you
try-
with 90% certainty I cannot.
Okay, good enough. I'll open it up tomorrow and then we'll make sure that you can log in on Friday. Okay.
All
here
right,
we
sounds
go.
good, man.
Call me if I don't.
All right.
This is the misery hand. Now, so table breaks. I go to the new table. I've had to sit out a few hands before I could. I wasn't one of the first people at the new table. And I forgot that I get to sit down and get a free hand and come in behind the button. So I put down my 3,000 chips.
Look at
and get-
these stacks,
and
Jesus
get pocket
Christ.
tens. These are nonsense. These
Okay.
75, that was a typo. The active player, the players who are in the pots matter. These are not, these are.
Okay,
When I put it in
so
wrong.
you're in the
I'm in the straddle.
3, 5, 10 straddle, all right.
I'm in the 3, 5, 10 straddle with 10, 10, and I didn't need to be in this hand
Because you could have just waited till button.
for free, and I would have come in and I would have come in one behind the button for free. I just paid these blinds, and I just forgot that rule.
Yeah.
Limp, raise, call, pocket tens.
We are set mining.
Sure.
3-bet.
200?
Yeah, squeeze or yeah, I think you could do all three. I prefer squeeze, and I guarantee you, like charts will say fold here, at a pretty decent frequency. But
Well, the problem is this guy has no calls,
that's
On the
no,
chart.
it's not
and
a
this guy has
three-bet.
no limps on the charts.
Yeah, the limp thing is what throws
Yes,
us off. But
so-
assuming that like the cutoff is a raise here, and then that's a small blind call kind of thing.
Yeah, let's just do that.
So we don't think calling here is profitable. I'm open to that. Is
No,
it
I think
because
it's-
we are concerned about a back raise Betty or?
No,
No,
I think it's
This is
profitable.
not back raise Betty world.
Okay.
Okay.
So it is okay with you guys to set mine here multi-way. I mean, and one other way to put it, you do think it's profitable. It's not gonna be here because we're not gonna have any flats behind a 3-bet.
All right, so we have a cutoff here, and then it's the small blind calls. All right, let's see that. Small blind has a call. Big
And the
blind, pocket tens.
cutoff range would probably be a little tighter,
Yeah.
considering there was a limp.
Okay, let's put him in the high. Let's just make this artificial thing here and do that. And now we have this. This isn't too far. This isn't crazy as an adjustment. Right?
Raise,
The
call,
question you
yeah,
need
The
to
hijack,
ask
the cutoff
yourself-
into the hijack and then kept it this way.
yeah. I
And if
think-
you even did this,
Yeah, jacks is the threshold.
To raise.
Yes, to raise, sir.
okay.
Well,
So we can call this, we can raise this. We're not folding this.
like, I just think to myself, are they gonna stack off, or will I get 20 to 1 if I flop a set?
Not 20 to 1. Not on 40. Oh, wait, hold on. 45, 900. Yeah, you're getting 20 to 1, 900. Yeah. This is the only guy who doesn't have 900. Everybody's got 20
Yeah.
to 1.
So it's cost me 35 more. I need
Well,
like
it cost you
700.
45 more because you didn't need to put the first 10 in, you jerk.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think I'm getting 20 to 1 on these guys, and
Yeah.
if they stack off, great. Like, but most of the people playing 1-3, like they're gonna stack off, right?
Yeah.
No, back raise. There it is.
Yeah, back raise.
Well, then you're folding.
Well, now you have to.
They
Now,
got you.
here's the thing. When I played 1-2-2 earlier in that day, somebody flats an open and then they jammed 9-9 over a 3-bet for like 175. They back raised Betty this one.
So this is-
Okay, so
This
Just
is
to
a
be
common
clear,
bucket.
this isn't a back raise. This is a limp re-raise.
Limp re-raise. This is a
yeah.
limp re-raise. Thank you. This is a limp re-raise. You're absolutely right. And it's a common fuck it Freddy type of move in live and low stakes. This informs the next hand. This happens.
Fuck it and fold.
I
right?
think I recognize him from the 1-2-2 hand above. I'm not sure. I stare him for a read and try to remember if he's the guy who did it. And I think he's the guy who did it. While I'm doing that, he asks, jackpot hand? I say yes, and I call.
The jackpot hand gone for quads?
You gotta have, you gotta have, it has to be pocket eights or better. It has to be, yeah, quads beat. Quads beat, but pocket sevens quads doesn't count.
Got it. All right. So
Okay.
you are investing heavily here.
And I am short, and I'm short against him. I don't have the pot odds against this guy. But I
No, you
thought-
don't have,
Right.
yeah, I think you
Right.
muck.
Yeah. Then it gets really weird.
Oof.
Oh, Christ. So what percentage of the time do you boat up on estimate?
40.
Yeah, that's where I am. 40% of the time you boat up.
What percent of the time am I ahead right now? Without boating up?
80.
80?
90.
80%. You flop a
890?
flush.
Yeah.
You flop a flush 18% of the times. So,
Yeah,
If
he's
he
gotta
has
have, I mean,
Ace, king of hearts, good for him.
yeah, he's gotta have
Right.
played ace king of hearts or ace queen of hearts like this. He can't have ace five of hearts. He can't. It's got, there's a five there.
Yep.
And so your SPR is just ridiculous here.
Yeah.
Just get it in. What, check, raise it all in.
Yeah, I would check shove.
Sure, that's a good way to do it. That'd be better than what
Check,
I
shove.
did. Check. He bet 200. So we just shove, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, just shove it in.
Just shove it in.
he's pot committed as hell.
Yeah, he's pot committed as hell. I've seen them fold here, though.
And sometimes
Under-
he's gonna call with king of hearts, ace of hearts.
Yeah. Yeah, just shove it all in. Don't do that.
Why would you call?
Mm,
don't know.
Oh!
I don't know. Didn't I say that this is a painful fucking hand that I shouldn't have even been in?
oh god.
What part of painful fucking hand at the beginning of this?
We're all getting punchy after 4
I
hours
thought I
of
was gonna play
poker.
it right. So he does this, and the thought process, which is not right, is at this moment, which is I'm fine. I'm not gonna fold this hand, but I don't need him to fold. I don't need to cue him that, I mean, on this board this wet, when I check raise, it's like, it's pretty close to a flush or better. He can fold pocket jacks without a jack of hearts here, and I don't want him to fold any of those hands.
I can understand that. I mean, I don't think
Damn on him, and he has
you have so much equity. I don't think this is necessarily, you're not making a blunder here.
yeah, but then this comes, and it's like, oh, Jesus God.
I know, sucks.
Right.
You got
But
I check. Before I check, this happens to go. He looks at his hand, so he's looking to see if he has a heart. That's what he's
that's
doing.
important. That's really important. So let's
I
talk
know
about
I
that
didn't
for a
do
while.
that.
So here, you think, we're on turn. Here, you think, then you look up, and then you check, because now you're looking at him, see what he does.
Mhm.
All right.
He looks to see if he has a heart. I don't look because I know I don't have a heart because I know I flopped a set and I know how many tens of hearts there are in the deck. He checks behind.
Okay. Don't do it.
Great. Three spades.
Yes. All right. So I don't think you're ever folding to a shove, are you?
Probably not. Maybe.
Then you can shove.
I can shove. I don't know what I'm doing. I check. He bets 200.
Well, I think I just call now.
Right. And of course, what is his hand exactly? What's his exact hand? Come on.
Yeah,
you know it.
you've written it in your notes.
I
9-9.
told you. It's written in my notes. He's that guy. I told you he was that guy.
Oh man, what a nightmare.
Ugh.
Even worse, I came in from a broken game and I didn't have to post. Did I mention I hate poker? C9 is a crazy aggro player with
Well,
lots of
he's probably calling a check shove, so.
Yep. And then here, yeah, he probably is. He probably is with 7, 8, 9, 10. And the 9 of hearts. You know, he's got a straight flush draw
Yeah.
there. He's probably calling this shove here with only 700 behind.
Yep.
Yeah, he's probably calling all of them.
So
Probably.
you lost less money.
Yeah, and if he calls the flop, and if he does check fold the flop, I am way the fuck ahead of the 9-9 with the 9 of hearts right now. I mean,
You
yes, he
are.
has outs, but he has less outs to hit a straight than I have to boat up. Or a straight and a flush 8, maybe not. Let's do that real quick. He does. He has
No,
to.
you're
He's
fine,
backdoor.
you're fine.
Oh, I'm fine. When I call this here, I am ahead, and if he fold, so like that, and I end up losing
So-
200 as the game, but I still hate poker.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I started going to the 1-3 and just bringing green chips, which are $25 chips.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just opening 25. So I'm betting like 8 1/3 big blinds.
You're
And
you're
just-
you're, you're doing
I
8x
basically
opens
convert the
because they
game
play
to a
bad
green
against
chip
8x.
game.
Because
And
because they play bad. They continue to play bad against your 8x opens. They have not adjusted, and even they're doing some 8x opens, right? Some of them are opening to 25.
Yeah, I basically converted the table to a green chip game at 1-3. And it worked.
As long as they
So
play
so
green
I
chip
think I'm gonna
bad.
try to keep doing this until, well, obviously this is easy to exploit, right? You just play old man coffee, right?
Yeah. Just don't play any
But,
hands. Just play any hand. I would love to be in your game.
But like I know I'm playing exploitable, but I don't
Mhm.
give a shit because
Because they're not
they're
exploiting it.
making, yeah. So I'm gonna keep doing this. So that's my hint for playing 1-2 and 1-3. Just bring green chips to the game and turn it into a
Now,
a
my question for
25
you is,
game.
what is the advantage of letting them know that's what that's going to be, as opposed to just playing with the same colored chips as they're playing and just making your raise size to 25 and doing those increments? What does saying to the table, I play green chips only do? What does that accomplish?
Because you only brought green chips.
But what is
Right?
that? Why is that an advantage? I understand why
Because
making the game
okay,
a green
because
chip.
then their brains reset, right? They
Right.
think, oh, he's just betting green chips. It's just like one bet.
Oh,
Right.
so they undervalue the size of the pot. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
yeah.
saying? They calculate the pot wrong because they don't know what a green chip. They don't know what green chip is. They can't multiply by 5. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Well,
they
No,
they don't
no,
understand the
no.
effective
No,
depth,
what I'm saying
depth of
is
the
that
game.
it feels totally natural for them that 25, like 8.5, 8 1/3 big blinds is a reasonable bet size.
Right. Got that.
And I said that their problems is they call too much,
Recording in progress.
right? And going to 50 is huge for them, right? So they don't. So I'm not getting 3-bet.
Right. There we go.
So you end up with like, I don't know. You
No, but
get
I
like
want- I
5
wanna
people
say-
in there. There's 250 in the pot, right?
Yeah, I want to make
You
sure that I
take it away.
understand. I want to make sure the thing that I understand what you're saying, which is that when they look at the pot and there are 3 green chips in it, they play differently than if there were 15 red chips in there.
Yeah, yeah.
They can't
But see-
they can't do green chip math, is what you're saying, and so they're making green chip. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it resets the game to rather than making like people were betting 10, right? Which is 3 big blinds, right?
So
And
so
I start
you're
betting-
changing their play from betting 10 to betting 25 because you have green chips. They're not betting 10 anymore, and they
Well,
used to
it
bet
changed
10.
the whole table, yeah, because I started betting 25 all the time, right?
So Scotty, I'll try to help. I'll try to help Derek's view. What he means to say is, let's assume everybody's sitting with 150 big blinds in a 1-3 game, which translates to $450. Suddenly, with Derek's raise to 25, the entire game becomes from 150 big blinds deep. They've suddenly become 60 big blinds deep. and the entire table cannot adjust. Is that what you were saying? That
It makes them play more passively. At least in my games, when you start throwing green chips around, people get scared.
Oh,
in my games, the way I exploit this guy who puts in like a 10x 10 big blind open is I don't have a calling range. I just have a 3-bet range.
Right.
And all
That's
my
the right way to
all-
play in that game.
and my 3-bets are just min clicks. So
And
I
they
just
should
min
be,
click him.
and are they super linear with as opposed to polar?
No, they're reasonably polar. I mean, my
Very
entire
polar,
3-bet
okay.
range is very polar.
Okay.
So the entire 3-bet range to a standard, the range is the same to any standard open, but the sizing is reduced to just the min click.
Okay.
In fact, I
I have
won't
a
even go 2.
Okay. So Ashwin, I have a question. When you
Yeah.
do your raise to we have an open to 25 and your 3-bet is to 50 or 60, something like that. Does this generate any folds or do they always call because it's such a small relative 3-bet?
They call, but I don't get overcallers behind me.
Okay. They call.
Because generally it's not the entire table raising 10x.
Okay.
There will be one or two guys who
Gotcha.
have their standard
So
10x.
here's my first thought on that, and somebody else is going to have to come in and correct me. It seems to me like if you know you're getting called all the time, then your range should not be polar. It should be linear.
Okay.
Is that seems like very basic poker theory to me. But the advantage of a polar range is that if they call you all the time, they get crushed by the power poles. And if they fold all the time, you take advantage of those folds by the polar region. But if they're always calling, do you want to be on the flop with a strictly polar range?
No.
Somebody help me with this. I think that is the wrong adjustment.
No, you're right. And the charts say whenever they open to like 7.5 big blinds or 5 big blinds, I know we went over this in the past, is that you play 3-bet or fold and you 3-bet incredibly linear. Like it's literally ace king to ace queen offsuit, and then king king queen queen ace queen suited. It's basically it's like no percentage of the hands. It's basically your best hands.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I think your better response is. And the other way to think about it is this: because remember, every hand it doesn't matter what the other hands at the table play at, each hand is individual. Is that when the blinds are 1-2 and the minimum opening bet is $50.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just play your very best hands.
Well, the thing is, I adjust by the reason he probably does make his strategy somewhat polar is because one, I get tons of folds from 3-bets. Nobody 3-bets in my game. I mean, I'm newer to the game, obviously, and I've just
But
started.
is your 3-bet a click or is your 3-bet, 3x?
Oh, I make a real
Right.
3-bet size.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But then the other thing is that they open to 7.5 big blinds or 5 big blinds so wide that you can obviously widen up your range. And then when you do get called, you gotta be a little bit careful when you got ace jack and you make top pair or you make a pair of aces. You got to be a little bit careful in that situation.
Yeah.
And anytime they 4-bet, it's aces. I've seen people call my 3-bets with kings, and I have queens, and they don't. They just. I mean, I've seen people limp kings pre. It's insane. It's basically aces. Some players, which I tag pretty early, because they will start to 3-bet, and then it gets to showdown, and you see ace queen or something like that, and then in this game, that's a loose 3-bet.
Yeah. So if your 3-bet is generating folds, then it can be polar. If your 3-bet is not generating folds, then I think it should be linear. That's my basic understanding of the way poker works.
Yeah. And I go a little bit polar, but I don't go too crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I go with generally strong hands and out of position. I'll 3-bet a lot of offsuit bigger cards because I know I can generate a lot of folds from it.
Right.
And it feels a little tight to fold them sometimes when I know how wide these people are opening, so I can get
Right.
calls, and sometimes I am ahead. I'll have a lot of the time I think my hand is stronger because they'll call you with. I mean, I'll show you the
What-
hand tomorrow. It's outrageous what I got called with on a 3-bet. I got a cold call from a 3-bet with 3 deuce offsuit.
Oh my gosh. So when you have ace jack offsuit and you 3-bet with it, you're playing a better hand strategy there because they've opened ace 9 offsuit and they've called you.
Correct. That's also something in play, Scotty. What happens is because in my standard game, if somebody opens 3x, I raise it to 10x. Now in this game already, that guy's raised 10, and I'm making that a 20x, 20 big blinds.
Right.
So it's already, even if it's a small 3-bet size, relative for the dollar
Okay.
value or the exact value of
Okay.
the money, it's a big size.
Okay.
Also, the idiot who raises 10x big blind, I'm not saying he's an idiot always, he's tricky. That guy comes in with a relatively wider range because he wants to see a lot of flops. It's
Mhm.
about navigating post flop. If I
Right.
make it in, if I make it into a standard 3.5x 3-bet size, which is going to take it to about 35 big blinds, then I'm taking the play back to his home turf where he wants to play really big pots with marginal hands and put me in the skewer, which
Right.
which is something that I would like to avoid. I'm happy to let go of a 20 big blind post flop situation with maybe king queen off. I mean, let's say I 3-bet king queen off in position from cutoff. I don't connect flop. Check flop, turn something repeats. He donk leads. I let it go. I'm saying that's how I would play that hand.
Yeah. So I'm
So
about to go over that. So I'm going to disconnect for about 3 minutes as I go over a hill. So the thing I would consider is the idea that you do the 3.5 to the normal, 3.5 to the normal size and 2x to the big size makes total sense to me. I would consider that when you go the 2x to change that range and make it to a linear range rather than a polar range.
got it.
That'd be the adjustment.
Makes sense.
Might help you.
Makes sense. Makes
Okay.
sense.
I mean, I
Makes
would,
post flop play easier.
but you can still be like kind of loose though, and like I'm 3-betting like king 10 suited, queen 10 suited, even jack 10 suited, just because of how wide their open range is when they're opening to 5, 7x.
And you're going to a normal 3x size and they're folding all the time because 3-bets, right?
Yeah,
They
and when they
never
don't
4-bet
fold,
bluff.
yeah, they never 4-bet bluff, so I can
Right.
always fold out the 4-bets,
Yeah.
and it makes it
Yeah.
makes pre-flop a lot easier because you're just when you're dominated most of the time. But there are the super passive players that limp ace king offsuit, and then you 3-bet them drill top, or somebody else opens, you 3-bet that guy. That guy cold calls you with ace king offsuit. The other guy folds, and then you're sitting there in a pot like, what the hell is going on? But it happens. Sometimes you lose money.
Yep.
Yep. The way to beat me is to 3-bet, which is to 4-bet your ace 10 offsuit. Because I just fold everything.
I mean, I do. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't. I do a little bit of 4-betting with. It depends on the player because there are a couple of players that are outside of the normal that aren't just
Yep.
super old man coffee, and there's a couple of guys, younger guys usually that are aggressive that I'll start to 4-bet against because they'll fold out. But
Yeah.
it's player dependent, obviously.
Yeah. For most people, I'm just fold.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy adjustment, and it's probably the best one. I mean, when the old guy that has played VPIP of 5 the entire night starts 3-betting me, it's time for me to fold. I folded queens the other night because the man that I saw play in a course of 5 hours played 2 hands, and the only time I saw him open, he had pocket aces twice, and he opened the exact same size again. I was sitting there with queens. I called flop, looked for a set. He bets huge on the flop whenever it comes out because he's terrified of every draw. And I just folded because I was like, she just has kings or queens, or he has aces or kings, and it's likely aces.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Just fold it all.
Yeah, not my strategy, but I don't know. Some of these guys, they all just play for high hands too. I've watched. Do you play 1-3? I play 1-2. So like you might know. How do you adjust for these players that are playing for high hands so frequently and not like I've almost been trapped a couple of times in that situation, not because they're looking to trap me, but because they're just trying to get quads and they're sitting there with a set playing super passive. And then I show down my yeah, and they don't like I'll show down on the river. They have a set like, oh, I was trying to get quads. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened, dude? Like you just I had no idea where I was at this whole time because you had top set and you didn't raise once. So you just sat there and was like, call,
Yeah, yeah,
call,
yeah.
call. Like they just
You're
want to
just
get to
buying a
showdown.
lottery ticket, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I mean,
You're
I
just
guess
buying
it
a lottery ticket.
yeah, it influences the way like if we go, are you gonna be here tomorrow?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, Larry said we'll show some hands that I played. I have a few hands of players that just played so passively that I had no fucking clue what was going on. I got the showdown and was like, what the fuck just happened?
I have never lost with quads in my
Well,
whole life.
yeah. Yeah,
I mean, like, what?
I have lost with quads.
really.
Oh, good.
Quad over
Good for
quad.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I lost quad jacks, quad aces the week
I
before they instituted a jackpot.
did
No.
Yeah.
I coolered quads with a royal flush like 2 months ago.
Nice.
That was interesting.
Nice.
So Derek,
Did you get a
Derek,
jackpot for it?
No, I was playing online. I was only playing 5NL. And I'm like,
Oh, okay,
fuck,
okay.
dude. Then like a month later I start playing live and can't pick
Okay.
up a hand, but it is what it is.
Yep.
So Derek, I promised you a flip for stacks story.
Okay.
So this is from that same night. So
Okay.
tomorrow my question will be, does anybody fold the set on the river to the $200 bet with the four hearts out there when obviously the guy's got a heart? Do we ever fold that? Just go, yep, you have my set beat, save $200. So as I'm leaving the table, I had more of I had a lot of the money that was at the table. So I was taking away a significant chunk of the money, and it was late at night because the tables were broken, gone there. And a guy so I had about 2,800 or so, and a guy who had 900, 1,000, 1,100, something in that range, offers to flip for stacks. Now,
take it right away.
But here's the thing: I'm leaving the table. So the idea of if this was the beginning of the session, your flip for stacks argument makes sense. I'm leaving the table. Does it make any sense?
The whole point of flipping for stacks is so that you can play deep against.
Right, and I'm leaving.
The one person in the room who got lucky that night and then take his whole stack.
Right.
So if there's a lucky bad player at another table, then I'd flip for stacks and sit and go to that player's table.
Right. But I'm leaving the casino. I'm done for the night.
Well, I wouldn't leave if I got that opportunity.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So at this table, let's think about it. At this table, there was no other table playing 3-5. This was the only 3-5 table left.
Well, then no.
Yeah. So, yep. And was I a favorite at that table? Probably. I was probably a favorite. Was there someone terrible at that table? Probably no, or I wouldn't be leaving the table.
Yeah.
But
if there was another,
I was tired and I was ready to be done.
If there was another table you could go to that had a bad player that had $20,000, definitely. Because that's the most profitable thing in poker.
So
bad players with in any room on any night, there'll be a 1-3 or 1-2 table with one lucky person with $4,000 in front of them. You want to get a big stack so you can flip for stacks with that guy.
And they're drunk.
You don't mean flip for stacks against that guy. You mean you want to get against that guy so you can play when you have a tremendous advantage.
Yeah. So
you want to flip for stacks for 2,000. You want to flip for stacks so that you can outplay somebody who has.
Yeah. You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
That's the situation that I live for. Okay. I don't live to get like 1% better at against the GTO players. I want to sit down with like and win like 5,000 big blinds from a guy who doesn't know whether a straight beats a flush, right?
By the way, it doesn't. Just
What?
if you join the call, it doesn't. A straight doesn't beat a flush. Just in case anyone just joined the call.
Well, I'm not sure whether a street
thought
beats
I
a
would-
flush, to be
I
honest,
thought I
but
would, I thought I would insult.
I don't know either.
but that's the only situation that I live for, right? That's my whole poker thing, is to get in big hands for like $3,000 at the 1-3 table, right?
So when this guy offered, I just said no, thank you. He did some version of come on. I said no, and I may have even said, because if I win, I'll have more money, but if I lose, I'll be unhappy.
Oh, I'm totally playing for don't give a
But
fuck
here was
money.
the thing. Here was the thing that I consider doing if this happens again in that situation. So it's a bad bet because the casino is going to take $7 out of
Yeah,
it.
but say to them, ask me at the beginning of the night.
That's one thing. Yeah, say after me at the beginning of the night. The other thing is ever saying, I'll do it if you give me a $50 vig. If you just give me a $50 advantage, I'll do it with you.
Yeah,
Do we
that
think
works.
that's a good idea? Do we think that that's a stupid idea? Do we think that that's an asshole thing to do that will pollute the game? Or is it just so what? Any opinions?
Yeah,
Just don't do it.
Mathematically, it makes sense.
Mathematically, it makes sense I mean, that's what
And
we're
if
there.
and if they're begging you to sit there and do it, then it's on them if they accept it.
No, but Scotty,
So,
I think
fuck 'em.
you've got more edge. You've got more edge in that game than that $50 on a $3,000 flip. So I think
Yeah.
just don't do it. Just don't
Yes,
do it.
but after as long as we're just talking the math, if you have more advantage in another bet, but if you have a 10% advantage in a bet, and then someone offers you another bet, on the same day where you have a 5% advantage, that doesn't make the 10% advantage go away. You get both of them. I mean, you profit from a 5% advantage.
No, you've got a risk of ruin. So there is a possibility that you lose
No, but
that
see,
flip.
I don't have a risk of ruin. It's not a tournament, and losing all the chips in front of me, I have more chips in my pocket. I don't have.
Okay. Okay.
I have a risk of being.
I-
I have a risk of being miserable.
Mm.
I have a risk of ruining my day, is what I have. So does that change it for you at all?
I mean,
no,
I
because
don't like.
I'm playing
I
for
mean,
don't give a fuck money.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't give a fuck. So
Okay, so I have one question then for you, Derek, which is on this. By the way, we're done with poker. With this, which is, so if you don't give a fuck about losing the money, tell me about what you give a fuck about winning the money. Why that's of value to you.
it's entertainment value.
Okay, good enough.
Like I could not, like, even if I played 25-50, I wouldn't. It's still don't give a fuck money.
So so with that in mind, is 2-5 more entertaining for you than 1-3? What's your reason for moving up?
I just sat in that game because, like, while I was waiting for 1-3,
Okay,
and ended up just playing the 2-5.
okay. What was your experience of the 2-5 compared to the 1-3? How they played?
Players are still awful.
Okay. Do you want to play in that
I did-
game more now? Does that make you want to play
Pardon me?
more?
Oh, I used to play 2-5 all the time.
Right.
Because
Saying, does that make you want
at
that-
Fallsview, the smallest game was 2-5.
does that make you want to move to that game, or do you still prefer the 1-3?
Like I see no, like, there's no 5-10 game,
Right.
and 2-5 doesn't run very often.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
I guess I don't care.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Good enough.
And the thing I worry about is I'm getting older, and as I get older, I get stupider.
Yes.
So I worry that I don't want to be one of these idiots that keeps playing when they can't beat the game.
I think you'll notice. I think you'll notice in your bankroll, as long as you're keeping records, you may lose enough brain cells that you can't tell the difference between good play and bad play, and you may start going, "Oh, I'm just getting unlucky. Just getting unlucky. These little fucking kids, they're calling me with all their sooty connectors, and I'm losing all my stack." That may be true, but if you just find yourself having, you know, an overall losing 3-month period, I think that you're smart enough to look and go, "Wow, I'm stupid now."
Well, I've lost twice this year.
Yeah, so I don't think you need to worry
And I didn't
about that.
lose a session last year.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I'm
I don't-
getting worse probably.
You might be getting worse, but I don't think you need to worry about it. As long
Like-
as, yes, as long as
So-
as long as you actually keep track and don't lie to yourself, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've lost twice this year. It shocked me.
Yeah. There you go. Welcome to
There
poker.
you go. So I must be getting worse. But like
Yeah.
I only play on Saturdays typically, right?
Mhm.
So that's not really a representative. Because during Saturdays is probably the easiest time to win money.
Right.
And Saturdays during the World Series, oh my God. Right?
They're not watching the board; they're just watching the game, right? And then occasionally cards.
Yeah, yeah. And this is close to Toronto because I'm in Niagara Falls.
Yep.
So it was just easy money on Saturday.
Nice. All right,
So you
everybody.
you want to play poker when there's a fight on, or like during the Super Bowl's probably good
Mhm.
too. World
Okay,
Series,
that's-
that kind of stuff.
That's a good point. I never really thought about that because I don't watch
So-
sports, but yeah.
When there's
We're
a
good.
major sports thing on, go to the
And
poker room.
And it's really good to play poker in a casino more than a poker room if you can. If you have access to a casino, meaning a place that also has slot machines, poker is a better deal than in a poker room, because you'll have
Yeah.
some people who would just as much feel like playing blackjack as poker, and those are even better.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Talk to you
see you
tomorrow.
I'll see you guys all
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye bye.
See you
I just,
guys.
I just, I
Bye.
just, yeah, I just want to say one
Oh, do you have
thing.
a question?
Yes.
No, yeah, I just want to say one thing.
Thank you.
That's look, the look of love. That's look, the look of love. Dun, dun, dun. All right, guys. May the poker gods be with you all. Good night.
All right.
Take
And
care.
with you.
Bye bye.
Bye.